welcome to Across the Omniverse, a podcast brought to you by Cinema Sangha. My name is Devin Faraci. I'm one of the hosts of the program. Joining me, as he traditionally does.
My name is Derek Faraci, and I used to have it all. Power, respect, a top 50 star meter on IMDb Pro. How are you, Devin?
I'm okay. Saw Mortal Kombat 2 this week.
Oh, what'd you think?
It is as advertised on... It does what it says on the tin. I
suppose so.
Incredibly stupid and incredibly violent. And it really doesn't, like... I'm very impressed that it doesn't waste a ton of time on story. There's a lot of fighting in it. Like,
I would say it spends a lot of time on story.
I mean,
a lot more than I thought it would.
More than you want, but there's a lot of fighting in it, though.
There is a lot of fighting.
There's a lot of fighting. Like, it's every, like, 7 minutes is a fight. Like, I mean, the stuff in between the fights can feel a little tough at times. But I think that the opening of the movie feels... First of all, my thoughts on this movie, how I would have done it. One, the Mortal Kombat tournament needed an opening ceremony. Like the Olympics.
Yeah, it's weird. It just kind of starts.
It just happens, yeah. I needed something. But I think it would have been really fun to do an opening ceremony like the Olympics. Like all the different realms bring people out and they do a thing or whatever. I also would have opened it with the Johnny Cage movie.
Yes, I agree.
That's where I would have started. I would not have started with the Once Upon a Time.
It takes too long for Johnny Cage to show up, I think.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, and I want to be clear. This the movie is written by Jeremy Slater, who I like a lot. Like his Exorcist show.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love that show to death. You know, I'm a big fan of his work. This movie just didn't do it for me at the end of the day.
I mean, you know, there's a lot of really goofy violence. Spoilers.
Too much CG violence, though.
I mean, of course, there's going to be. This movie costs $80 million. They're not going to do resets on the day of like having to clean everybody up to get the blood off of them. They want to do these takes 75 times in front of a green screen. This is one of those movies, though, like where all the green screen stuff, you're like, yeah, it's a video game movie. Of course, there's green screen.
Bothered me. None of that bothered me.
I will say this is a spoiler, so folks that don't want to be spoiled on Mortal Kombat 2, skip ahead a few minutes. Really incredible that they bring the hero of the first movie in and then just smash his head.
Just take him out.
Just take him out. The movie's like, yes, we know you don't like this guy. Neither do we. Like, let's just get rid of him. It's really amazing.
Yeah, I appreciated that.
Really, he also has a line earlier. I want to get home to see my wife and my kids. And it's like, oh no, you're gonna get your head smashed in.
Sorry, not happening.
There's my only other complaint is there's not enough characters in it, which I know is a weird thing to say.
Yeah,
but on the bad guy side, it felt a little thin.
Yeah, I would agree. The Baraka scene, I loved.
Really great. Baraka's really good.
That.
Really love
that whole
scene.
thing. I love the whole format of it too. Then like at the end when Johnny Cage is hanging out with them and like telling them the story, that was great. I love that stuff. You know, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed I don't know any of the other characters' names. You know, is it Liu Kang who has to fight his dead brother?
Yeah, that's Luke. They're best friends.
Best friend? Yeah, that's a good fight.
Best friend.
And that was a good fight.
Yeah, then he has a big ending.
Yeah,
which is from the games, by the way. I went and looked up a lot of stuff, and like a lot of the weird shit in this movie is from the games.
Yeah.
So the games.
Yeah, there's a lot of lore to these games.
There's a ton of lore, and also this movie is full of people who were already killed coming back, and apparently the third movie is just about that. But that's also from the games.
The third movie?
Yeah. That ends with them. Let's go rescue our friends from hell.
I was like, I didn't know it had been announced.
Oh, I don't know if it's been announced, but that's what it's setting up. It's setting up.
Yeah, and let's just go get everybody.
This was apparently the original plan when they made the first one. They wanted to do a trilogy, and the first one was going to be before the tournament. Second one was the tournament, and third one was the aftermath of the tournament. That was what they said way back in 2021.
Wow!
So they actually really did want to make these movies this way. You know, in the games, man, they end up like rebooting the timeline a few times, and they have
the games are
multiverse.
Crazy. The games are crazy.
There is apparently, I found out, one of the characters, Jax, the guy with the robot arms, he creates his own timeline at one point, and in his timeline there was no transatlantic slave trade, and people on the internet are mad about this.
Of course,
because it's not historically accurate. The man with robot arms so crazy.
If Mortal Kombat is not historically accurate, what are we doing? What are we doing? A game where you can have RoboCop fight Jason. Not historically accurate. What the hell?
really like when they bring Kano back to life, and every character's like, "Why did we bring Kano back to life?" And the answer is because he's funny. Like that's the answer. Yes. But like, there's no story reason this guy is back alive. Like at one point, like they get the amulet off of him that they want, and somebody's like, "We could have just looked in his pockets the whole time."
He is essentially back to life because people liked him in the first movie.
Oh, he's great. I mean, like he's a great character.
Yeah,
great actor, having a lot of fun with that character, really bringing a lot of needed stupidity to the thing. But I like Shao Kahn a lot.
Which one is he?
He's the guy with the helmet the whole time, the big bad guy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I like him a lot. They cast a couple of wrestlers in this movie, and like you got to do that. Like,
sure,
that's the '80s vibe. Is like making your fantasy movie and casting wrestlers as the big guys.
Yeah, you got to.
But they don't always, though. That's the thing. Sometimes they don't always do that. But like, I also liked the Necromancer. He looked ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean, very pleased by how ridiculous the Necromancer looked.
Yeah.
And Kano has a great line about that too. Hey mate, if you're thinking about putting on more eyeliner, I think you've already overdone it.
Yeah,
that's really good.
That was good.
I enjoyed it. It was like, here's the deal. Like, I saw it at 2:00 in the afternoon on my A list, so I didn't pay any money for it. It was something to do in the middle of the day, and it gave me what I wanted, which was a bunch of people fighting mostly to the death in combat, more in fist fights. And I thought some of the fight scenes were pretty good. I mean, they have like really good, the cast is terrific, especially when it comes to sort of like Joe Taslim is playing Noob Saibot. Like he's a great fucking martial artist and actor.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm never gonna, just like the first one, I'm never gonna watch it again. Though what's funny is that when this movie began and Johnny Cage goes and meets everybody, and the movie is like, you remember all these guys, right? And I'm like, I have no idea what's happening here. I don't know who anybody is. I don't know what anybody's relationship is. Like,
I mean, the movie begins, right? There's the opening bit where we see like the last Mortal Kombat, I guess, right? And then it just kind of jumps in, and it's like it's a while before Johnny Cage shows up, and it's just these other characters talking about like, don't forget, we got to do blah blah blah. I'm like, is this from the first movie? I don't remember anything. I have no idea what anyone's talking about.
I mean, like, it took me a minute to remember who Kano was. They bring him back, and I'm like, wait, he was in the first movie. And they do a flashback to the first movie, and I go, oh yeah, I guess he did. What did was in the first movie?
Yeah, his family got killed.
So like, no, that's not Kano. That's Scorpion.
Oh, that's right, Scorpion, and he lives in hell, but he's made hell into a paradise
because his willpower is so strong. I really like that a lot.
I like that a lot, but I wanted so bad for one person to be like, why didn't you remake your wife and kid in hell then? Like,
because
that's your great loss.
It wouldn't really be them. That stuff's all fake. I mean, like, as we see, this movie has no time for have a discussion about the philosophical concepts.
I mean, this movie literally at one point just cuts to Johnny Cage going up to Raiden and being like, I've learned my lesson. And Raiden's like, good. And it's like, what? When did that happen? Yeah, they're just moving. They're just like, we just need fights. It's all about the fightings.
I mean, it's a lot of good fights. I really enjoyed the fights. You want out? Go ahead, get out, you son of a bitch.
I was hoping for more practical gore.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I'm not like a huge Mortal Kombat guy, but there were a number of times where I was like, oh, that's what this guy does when he's waiting to fight in the game. Like, he's doing the exact... I'm like, you know what? I like that. Like, give it to me. This is dumb as shit. This is my feeling about Masters of the Universe coming up. It's like, you know what? They look like the toys. Like, that's... that alone is novelty enough for me. Yeah. So, like, when guys just do their shit from the game, I'm like,
where was the robot guy? I like the robot guy from Mortal Kombat. Remember him?
Well, that's the thing. There's a bunch of characters that I wanted... Like, I really wanted to see Reptile. I like Reptile a lot. And
Reptile's cool.
Reptile... but they have, I guess they're saving some of these guys for the next movie.
I guess. I don't know.
But
did it do? It did okay, I think. Right? It opened up.
Okay, it opened strong. I'm not sure how the legs are. It opened strong, though.
Okay.
It may only cost $80 million.
I will say, watching it, I was like, this would be a better TV show. I think.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
I think so. Where you have more time, like you can do the fights, but also like imagine this is like a Cobra Kai kind of show. I think that would work very well.
I just don't think I want that. I don't want that much story. Like, I just don't care. Like, I don't care about any of these characters.
But did you think you would care about anybody in Cobra Kai?
I did not, but at the same time, this feels incredibly like the point of this is that it's way dumber than Cobra Kai. Like, that's like kind of the thing. Like, Mortal Kombat has always been like tongue-in-cheek stupid.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're doing the babalities and stuff like that.
Which I really wanted to see in this movie, and I think that they could have pulled it off.
I was hoping that there would be like a fight. Like, at some point, they'd be like, oh, no, now, like, Jax has to fight Sonya Blade. And they fight them. One of them's like doing the wavy thing, which they do in the movie.
Which they do in the movie.
Which I appreciate. Yeah, the end of the fight wavy thing. Where like, whoa, whoa. And then like whoever wins like does the friendship and pulls out like flowers or whatever.
But there was a friendship. There is a friendship in the movie.
Is there?
Yeah, Jax makes friends with Jade.
I guess he does. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, nobody says friendship, but like he does a friendship. That's what it is. We're really spoiling the shit out of this movie, although I think it doesn't really matter. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people are really angry at how much we're spoiling Mortal Kombat 2. But anyway, I saw it. I enjoyed it. I had a nice time. I got my ticket for Mandalorian and Grogu tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm seeing it tomorrow too.
So not getting great reviews. Not getting great reviews.
No.
No.
We'll see.
No, we'll see. We will indeed see. Yeah. So I'm excited, but like at the same time, I've been rewatching some of the Mandalorian TV show, and I'm like, oh, you know what? There's actually a high bar to clear here because these good episodes are real good.
Yeah, there are good episodes that are really good. Yeah, I rewatched the whole series, and connecting to what we'll be talking about in a little bit, the show did something very smart. In that they only face off against Moff Gideon once per season, and it's at the end of every season.
Yeah,
pretty smart. Like it works pretty well when you do that.
Yeah,
Yeah. But what are you gonna do? Anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it. Like I've said this before, if it's got a puppet baby Grogu hang out with puppet baby or Babu Fricks, and they're making stupid noises, 2 hours of that, I'm a happy man. Like that will make me very happy.
It does, in fact, have that.
It does. I know. That's all I want. Yeah. Every time I see in the trailer when they're like, "That's a bad baby" or "That's a good baby," I'm like, "That's it." Like, have them remake every Marx Brothers movie with those characters. I'd love the hell out of it. That's what I think.
We got any news? Actually, I have a piece of news to lead us off with today.
Oh, yeah?
That I saw was not on your document. I think it should go up front. An 81-year-old grandma streaming Minecraft to pay for grandson's cancer treatment has been swatted.
Oh, good.
Truly, we live in as depraved a time as anyone has ever lived in. I mean, that's insane. That's 5 SWAT cars and 20 cops busted into the house along with drones.
Well, I hope not the cars.
No, I don't think the cars did.
Okay.
I don't think the cars did.
Smashing through her house?
Yeah, she's streaming Minecraft. She's trying to, quote unquote, beat Minecraft, which you can't do. I think you can't do, right?
No, there is like some kind of final boss in there, but you keep going afterwards. But there's like I don't know what it's called, but there is some kind of thing, some dragon or something.
Yeah, so the levels of horror here. So she's an 81-year-old grandma streaming Minecraft to pay for her grandson's cancer treatment. Like, that's already, like, in and of itself, we live in hell. But then somebody decided to call the cops and say, boy, dark days. Dark days.
Yeah. It's a terrible world. I'm glad that you decided to add that into the news so that we could be really in good mood.
I wanted to get it out of the way. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it earlier because
you didn't want to get it out of the way. You were reading it when I was talking. I could see it on your face. You're not paying attention. You're not in the fucking moment. You want to get it out of the way.
I'm discovering good content.
It's not good content. It's fucking depressing as hell. Right. Well, I'm going to turn on the fucking podcast where the two brothers goof around and talk about stupid stuff. Oh, they're discussing the fall of humanity this week.
I mean, it's fitting for an episode about the series finale of The Boys, frankly.
I suppose.
All right, what's our news this week?
Major shakeups on the Marvel publishing side as Brad Winderbaum is taking over publishing, which I thought was very interesting.
I don't think it's as interesting as everybody thinks it is.
No?
No, I think that what's happening here is that they're creating more buffers between Feige and the rest of the company. So people are reporting up to Winderbaum now instead of reporting up to Feige.
They weren't reporting to Feige.
That was technically there was a guy. There was nobody in between. There was no guy. There was no person there.
Yes, there was.
Who?
Dan Buckley, who's been there since like 2003.
But he wasn't like, that wasn't really his job though, right? Like he was just the guy that was in
his job
to
He's
be
like the president of Marvel or whatever. Yeah.
He was the publisher of Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now he's not.
Publisher is not. The thing is that what they're having Winderbaum do, publisher's a different job. And I'm not convinced that Winderbaum is the publisher now.
He is. Buckley's out.
Does it say publisher is what it says?
He is. He's taking over head of Marvel television, animation, comics, and franchise.
Yes, but that's not what Buckley did.
He will oversee the creative direction of Marvel's expansive publishing portfolio.
I understand that, but the titles mean stuff in this world, and so I don't know who it's going to say is the publisher. That was what his job was, and the deal is that David Abdo is gonna be the guy that's actually running Marvel Comics, yeah, I don't know, man, I don't know. I don't think it's that big a deal. I think people.
I think the big deal here is. This is coming at a time when Marvel publishing is in very bad shape.
It's in very bad shape. Those comical books suck right now.
They're not doing well. They've been having problems. And they've, over like the last year, they've fallen into second behind DC, which has not happened since like the death of Superman.
Yeah.
So it's...
DC's got like a real resurgence happening lately. Although, you know what's funny? It has a real resurgence with the absolute titles. I don't know that the main line has quite the same resurgence. They do have the better creative teams now. They have really poached everybody. They have really good talent right now, and they're paying money for it, which Marvel stopped doing. Marvel got very cheap. I mean, it's always been cheap, but it got really cheap. And so I don't know that the mainline DC universe is that amazing. It's okay.
I think Fractions Batman is great.
Yes.
I'm loving that.
Yes.
I really like Tom King's Wonder Woman. The Flash, I've only read 2 issues of the new writer on The Flash. Both issues are amazing. They're great. I'm all for it. Superman, I'm a little mixed on. I'm not big on the Superman has vanished and now Superboy Prime is the main Superman. But the first issue I read of that was pretty good.
There's a funny thing. In the comic, the characters are like, oh, who cares? He disappears. He died before. Who cares? Like we've really hit a wall with some of this stuff. Like where the characters are like, yeah, okay, he'll be back.
Yeah.
Like nobody gives a shit that Superman disappeared. Like nobody gives a shit. Well,
they came back and they're like, he's not dead. He's just off somewhere. He'll be back later. And it's like, okay, well, there you go.
But even if he was dead, they wouldn't care.
I think if he was dead, they would care more. There'd be a different sense to it.
They'd be like, oh my God, he's doing this shit again? That's what they would care about. They're like,
okay, I mean, it would go back to the Martian Manhunter funeral where Superman's eulogy to him was, we mourn his loss and we'll celebrate his resurrection, right? Like, this is part of superheroes at the end of the day.
I know. I think the problem is that when you have the characters remarking on these things that much, it's lampshading. It's the writers trying to tell the reader, oh, I know this is whatever. But like at the same time, I think it really makes everything feel dumber as a result and less interesting. Because again, Lois Lane is like, yeah, he disappeared before. I'm not worried about it. And it's like, well, if anybody on Earth is going to be worried about where he is, it's going to be Lois Lane.
But I actually like that Lois is like, no, he's my husband. He's Superman. He knows what he's doing. He'll come back. It's what he does. Like, you have to figure in the timeline of the DC universe, he has disappeared like 50 times in 5 years.
Oh yeah, he keeps disappearing.
He vanishes like every other week, and she's like, how many times can Clark get the flu to be out of work? Like, how are we going to cover this one? That's her mindset. But yeah, I don't know. I those books I like. Justice League, I'm iffy on. I like the writing, but I wish it wasn't so constantly caught up in whatever event stuff is happening at DC.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wish they could just tell stories there, but what are you gonna do?
I think what's really funny is that I think that Marvel is in a low point in a lot of ways, but I think one thing that they're doing right, but I don't think, well, conceptually doing right, I don't know that it's actually working. Their events really work and are telling a large story across the whole universe in a way that actually I think is interesting. Again, events are always a problem because you're fucking with the flow of books and stuff like that. But like in terms of what these events are and how they play out, I think that they're actually kind of interesting. And they're actually, so the next big event, Armageddon, is going to come off of One World Under Doom.
Yeah.
And in One World Under Doom, the Red Hulk ended up, he's like going to be like running Latveria now. And because Doom is dead or gone or whatever. And, the superheroes are going to have to try to stop him, and apparently, it's going to intersect with the Ultimate Universe because the origin boxes from the Ultimate Universe are going to come, and some of the characters from Marvel are going to either become new characters or they're going to get new powers. So Captain America looks like he's going to get the Sentry powers.
Yeah.
So he's going to turn into basically Superman. And so that's like a really but that's like an interesting way to weave all these ongoing stories together. Do you know what I mean? Like I like that.
I like that in theory.
It's just not, execution is not always there.
I imagine if I was a monthly reader, I'd be like, I can't keep up with all this. It's too many books. It's too expensive. And everything leads into the next thing. So you can't just not go with one of the stories unless you're just dropping out of all of the stories. I think you run into that kind of problem.
I do think that a number of these titles, Marvel, I think, is doing a little bit of a better job than DC did on this last crossover with making the titles feel a little bit more on their own. Like, you don't 100% need to have been reading the thing. I think that with
DC has not been good at it. Like, either. Don't get me wrong. When it comes
DC
to
is
events.
like, might as well be doing like, this is chapter 1 of 75. Like, it's like doing that kind of a thing. Like, you kind of like need to read every single comic to get the whole thing. I think Marvel's kind of laid off of that a little bit. I'm kind of curious how this Armageddon thing is going to play out. Whether or not that's going to be really shitting on everybody's fucking titles or not. But they've done a better job. They've also, like, what's funny is that a thing that really helped Marvel that they're getting rid of is like when what's his name used to run it and they siloed off the different parts, especially the X-Men. I think it actually helped because like you had these characters just get to do their own shit for a while.
Yeah.
Like you didn't need to just keep jamming everybody together all the time. And so on some level that really was pretty okay in and of itself. Like when the X-Men were on Krakoa, I enjoyed that storyline most of the time. But like they were just like out of the other books. Like you didn't have to worry about X-Men. Like that was
they were just doing their own
their own shit on their own island. Yeah. So
which would drive Jim Shooter. It led to Jim Shooter's death. He was so disgusted by it.
No, there definitely was
interconnected.
There definitely was stuff. Now, what's really interesting is that this is going to be potentially Marvel Studios taking a bigger role in Marvel Comics. As far as I know, the only thing that Feige has done so far where he has like leaned on the comics and said, do this, is making Kamala Khan a mutant.
Yeah, and that worked great.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I think that she actually...
Let's kill her, bring her back a month later, and now she's a mutant. Like, just don't bother. How about you just don't fucking bother?
I mean... I think that she's better off as a mutant. I thought her being an Inhuman was stupid as shit. It was only
she's only an Inhuman. Yeah, she's only an Inhuman because they were angry that Fox had the X-Men.
Yeah, so I think that fixing that makes a lot of sense. I don't like how they fixed it, but like I think that fixing it made a lot of sense, and So anyway, I'm kind of curious to see if he starts putting more pressure on the comics. Like, do they want them to line up more? I think it's always a problem when they line up. I think the comics should just be R&D for the movies. Like, let the comics do whatever they want and invent stuff that you can put in movies later on.
100% agree. 100% agree. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see what they do.
We shall see. We shall indeed see.
Yeah. In other news, shocking no one, Millie Alcock has joined the cast of Man of Tomorrow. So we got that going on.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I don't really understand why James Gunn says that this is not Panic in the Sky, when it seems pretty clear that it is. Like, all of the superheroes are in it. It's like the Justice League's probably gonna come out of this movie.
Maybe, but I think I understand why he's not like, oh, this is Panic in the Sky. I think he's obviously being influenced by Panic in the Sky, no doubt about it. But I don't think he's doing an adaptation of Panic in the Sky.
No, he's not. But like, the thing is that none of these guys are ever doing adaptations of a thing. They're always being very much influenced by or inspired by.
But I mean, he's definitely, it's interesting watching him, his decisions as the head of DC and looking at the things that are clearly influenced by what he saw at Marvel. I find very interesting. Like his whole thing of like, no, there's not going to be, subtitles to these movies, right? It's not going to be Superman, Legacy, Supergirl, One of Tomorrow. We're not doing that. Just simple titles. And he looks at things like Captain America: Civil War, and for whatever reason, like, I don't want to do that. And my theory is he doesn't want to do that because when you say it's this comic storyline, then everyone starts to jump on it and say this is going to happen, that's going to happen, this is going to happen, and if that doesn't happen, the fans get upset.
Yeah,
So I think he's trying to steer clear of that kind of stuff. But who knows? I don't know. I mean, it's obviously Panic in the Sky is 100% the blueprint for this story. It seems, it's hard to say it's not, but unless they've secretly cast the Flash so that he can run and accidentally unplug something that saves the world, I don't think it's going to be a full Panic in the Sky.
It's not going to be a full. It's not going to be a full adaptation, but it's going to be heavily influenced by. But remember, he was like being cagey about Brainiac for a long time too.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, but I do think that we're going to get a bunch of fucking superheroes. I think that there's going to be more superheroes in this movie than we even know about right now.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I think that we're going to get. I would not be surprised if Martian Manhunter shows up.
There's a lot of theorizing that Martian Manhunter is going to show up.
Yeah.
Primarily because on the internet, anytime they announce a black person has been cast, everyone goes, it must be Martian Manhunter.
It must be Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
I just think story-wise it makes sense. You have your extraterrestrial threat, bring in your extraterrestrial superhero. This is the thing that makes sense here. I mean, like, he can be the guy that knows what Brainiac is. Brainiac the Conqueror, like, the Martians knew about this guy. So
sure.
knows the story of Brainiac.
That's one thing I wonder is what version of Brainiac is he doing? There's so many different types of Brainiacs. There's the robot, there's the alien, there's the Kryptonian AI. Like, there's so many options to go with. And I wonder...
God willing, it's not the Kryptonian AI, but I'm worried that it will be.
I don't think it will be.
Why not?
I have a feeling. My theory is that after the blowback from Superman's biological parents being like, go fuck, I think he's going to be like, I don't want to deal with Krypton stuff anymore. I would not be surprised if Krypton is just donezo. Like, Supergirl does Krypton stuff, but I would not be surprised if he's like, Dunzo, we don't need to focus on Krypton all the time. There's so many better planets and whatnot. And also, he tends to take from the books when he was reading, when he was growing up, and that would not fit into that period. So I imagine Brainiac is going to be a guy who's green, who comes from Kalu, and like all that stuff.
He might become a robot at the end of the movie.
Hopefully he's got his cool ass robot ship at least.
He's got his robot head ship. You gotta
Yeah.
have the skull ship, and I think he's gonna probably put his mind into like a computer or something at the end to create the next iteration of Brainiac. That's my guess, but who knows? Anyway, Millie Alcock. I finally saw the new Supergirl trailer on the big screen.
Oh yeah?
The one that makes it very clear that Krypto is dying.
Yeah.
They should have maybe advertised that earlier. I'm not really 100% sure what's going on with the marketing for that picture.
Advertised that Krypto was dying?
Yeah, like sort of like the plot.
I mean, that trailer came out 2 months before the movie. That seems like a lot of time.
I guess.
You know,
I don't know. I feel weird about the marketing on some of these movies these days. I feel like
I don't disagree, but as we'll discuss in a bit, the final He-Man trailer, it finally gives you a clue of what the plot is. Like, I mean, you know, they waited a real long time on that one if we're going that way.
Yeah, I mean that is very, you know, it's not uncommon back in the day. The stuff that came out on TV the week of would spoil the whole movie.
Yeah.
Because they want to really get you in the fucking theaters. So they show you all the best stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit concerned about Supergirl. And if Supergirl really underperforms, what does this mean for James Gunn's DCU?
I think it'll mean they'll stick to the big names. You know, you'll see Batman showing up real soon.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. I'm really curious about that. Although I don't think you have it on your thing. Matt Reeves was doing a whole bunch of Batman shit last week on Twitter.
I do, but most of them is people we have already.
Yeah, but he was also showing like Batmobile footage and shit.
That's old footage, though.
No, is that old footage? That's not
pretty.
Current, that's not. It looked to me.
Footage? It looked to me. Looking at it, it looked to me like it was footage from the first movie. That's what it looked like.
Could be. I'm psyched about Batman 2, man. I'm really psyched about it. I'm ready.
Batman in snow.
Batman in snow.
Yeah.
There is snow in one of those Batmobile sequences.
Is there? I did not notice snow.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go.
So, all right. What else we got?
Lanterns is gearing up for season 2 ahead of the show premiering, and has brought in Christopher Cantwell to help write the season.
Interesting. So they're going with a different team, I guess, for season 2, huh?
Yes. Apparently, Tom King and Damon Lindelof will not be part of season 2. King is doing Mr. Miracle. Lindelof has another HBO show he's doing, so they're off doing their own thing.
Yeah. Christopher Cantwell, it's really important for people out there to know this is not the Nazi Christopher Cantwell.
When I first Googled him and that was the first thing that came up, I was like, definitely not that guy.
He was the guy. He was at a. He was at the Unite the Right rally, and then he got interviewed by Vice, and he cried on camera, and he became like sort of virally known as the crying Nazi.
Yeah.
That is not the same guy. This is the guy that created *Halt and Catch Fire*.
Wouldn't it be weird if it was the same guy though?
That would be pretty weird. The Christopher.
They come out like we should have Googled.
In an unusual situation, when you have two guys with the same name, the guy who writes comic books is the better looking of the two. That's like that never happens. That never happens in comic books. So
I mean, I think the guy that writes comic books versus the Nazi, I bet it happens pretty often. I mean, in that format. I mean, we're not talking about like, we're not talking. And I don't know what the artist Chris Cross looks like, who came up through Milestone and is a fantastic artist. I don't know what he looks like, but I imagine he's not as good looking as the singer Christopher Cross, which he used to get confused for all the time when he first was on the scene. You know.
He didn't get confused for the two little kids that wore their pants backwards?
No.
Crisscross gonna make you jump. Mac Dad gonna make you... Remember they wore their fucking clothes backwards? That was such an interesting moment in time. Yeah, such a fascinating moment. When is somebody gonna wear their clothes backwards again? Like, come on, let's get back to it.
I mean, in 2015, we all should have been wearing our clothes inside out, because that's what it was in Back to the Future 2.
There you go.
And we did not do that.
We did not do that.
But Christopher Cantwell is
that indicates
doing Lantern season 2.
That indicates some trust in the show, some belief that the show might come back for season 2.
Yes, yeah.
I would say that nothing is guaranteed. I would say also part of the reason why they're announcing this is because they want people to feel comfortable watching the show.
Yes.
There's a season 2 coming, guys. Don't worry. There may not be still. Like, don't worry. They can still
if the show doesn't do well, they'll just yeah.
But this feels like a way of telling people, no, we're dedicated to this. There's gonna be more of this. So.
Yeah, we'll see. On the Batman 2's beat, Charles Dance and Brian Tyree Henry have joined the cast. Brian Tyree Henry, of course, Martian Manhunter. Who else could he be? And
so here's the deal. This movie is full of Marvel actors.
Yes.
Sebastian Stan, Scarlett Johansson, Brian Tyree Henry. They're not like little ones. They're like major characters in their movies.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fascinating. 2 of them, this is the best indication yet that Bucky dies in Doomsday. Because ScarJo is obviously Natasha's dead. And the Eternals, those guys are basically dead, right? They died on the way back to their home planet, basically.
Unfortunately,
Unfortunately. I mean, we like that movie, so we're pro that, but doesn't look great for the Eternals character. We're pro the Eternals. We're pro the Eternals. We're anti-killing or ignoring them. But it's kind of wild how many Marvel refugees are in the Batman Part 2.
I mean, at this point, do you have a choice?
It's just that they're all major characters. It isn't like they played in a although technically Brian Tyree Henry did play in a movie, but he was like expecting to be in 9 movies. It's not like they were like the villain in a movie or they were in like 2 as a supporting character in somebody else's. They were. I mean,
are we only talking MCU?
Yeah, MCU only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because otherwise you'd have Nicholas Hoult as Beast in multiple movies, right? So that can
Nicholas Hoult crosses over many of the universes. Yeah, I would like him to be in the Batman Part 3 just so he can be the bridge person between the 2 universes of the DC universe.
I would love. I thought about this the other day. It would be amazing if they announced like David Cornsweet is in the Batman Part 2, and then everyone's like, "Oh my God, they are combining them," and like, but they never talk about it. They're always like, no, we can't talk about it. We can't talk about nothing. We can't talk about it. And then in the Batman Part 2, there's a scene where they're at like a restaurant and Cornsweet is the waiter and he doesn't even have a line. He just comes over, puts down a plate and walks away. Like that would make me laugh very hard. Obviously you don't want to do that in the middle of your serious Batman movie, but I think that'd be funny. Yeah.
All right.
But
what else?
Everyone figures Brian Tyree Henry probably, what's his face? The cop. Whose name I just forgot.
Bullock?
Yes. That's everyone's theory.
That's fatphobic, but okay. Just because Brian Tyree Henry is a man of size does not mean he's going to play Slobovian Bullock.
Hey.
Charles Dance is going to play Charles Dance.
Yes.
He's going to be somebody's disapproving dad.
More than likely, Sebastian Stan's disapproving dad would be my guess.
That's probably the best guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Sebastian Stan has shaved his head recently, which has people wondering what's up with that.
I mean, that might be for Two-Face. He might be wearing a wig most of the movie, and then half of his head will be shaved, and the other half will have hair, which will be a wig again. That might be what's happening.
Maybe. Who knows? I picked up Lego Batman Dark Knight Legacy. Legacy of the Dark Knight. I've been playing it, and Two-Face's origin in that movie is endlessly hilarious. I love it. I highly recommend the game. I'm enjoying it very much. Anyway, the Cliff Booth movie is going to be on IMAX before it hits Netflix. It'll be coming this Thanksgiving.
It's taking the Narnia slot. That was supposed to be Narnia, and then they pushed Narnia back. And so there were these IMAX theaters that were technically open to Netflix. And so they're going to put that in there. The question is that it's going to debut on Netflix within a month. So I don't know exactly how exhibitors are going to feel about this. They don't like that kind of window. So I'm kind of curious. I don't know how it's going to go.
What was the window for Narnia?
It was a much bigger window.
Was it?
It was a much bigger window. Yeah, yeah. It wasn't like old-fashioned traditional, but it was a few months. If my memory serves, it was a few months that it was going to be theatrical. And the thing is, I think a number of these fucking companies, Apple put F1 out in theaters. That was an Apple TV movie, and they put it in theaters. It made a gazillion fucking dollars, and it got nominated for an Oscar. I mean, like a bunch of Oscars. Like, I don't know, man. Like, just do it. Like, just do the fucking thing,
What's it? Oh my God. I was going to say The Martian. It's not The Martian. Project Hail Mary. That's an Amazon movie. They put in theaters.
Yep.
Yep. And it's not doing great, but The Sheep Detective, that's an Amazon movie, and that's staying steady, like day to day, week to week.
You like that one, right?
I did. I liked it very much. I really enjoyed it.
People who are bothered to see it really like it.
Yeah, I really liked it a lot. I thought it was very fun. It was very cute, very sweet. And maybe I cried. Yeah. It is weird that the entire movie is set in England and all the sheep are British except for the 2 main sheep who are American.
Interesting.
And they never discuss it in any way. They're just like, yep, it's Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Bryan Cranston. We needed star power is essentially what that means.
Yeah.
But and also the what's his name plays the cop, the tall cousin from not Ascension. What was that show? Not Severance. Succession. Yeah. He's doing a British accent in the movie.
There you go.
It's a little weird. Anyway, we got a new trailer for Spider-Man Noir or Spider Noir.
Yep. I did not watch it.
Sure. Why would you?
No, on purpose, because I don't want to. I've seen too much of this show already.
Okay.
And I have called time on watching stuff related to this show.
All right.
So that's the deal.
Well, comes out next week.
I know. That's why I've called time. We're like right here. I don't need to see any more stuff. I don't want my experience. I'm like modestly concerned about it.
Are you?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. My concern is just that the trailers and everything look really good, but like, is this whole thing going to be just 8 hours of Sin City? Do you know what I mean? Like where the aesthetic is like cool, but eventually it gets old. And
but I mean, the aesthetic is just black and white. Like
the aesthetic is black and white, but it's like it's not just a period piece. It appears to have period sensibility as well as being a period piece. And I just don't know how that's going to play. I'm kind of curious. I'm like, I'm going to tell you the truth. It's the Nick Cage of it all that makes me worried.
It's very hard to say with Nick Cage.
That's the thing. I just don't know. I just don't know.
Because like you're saying, it's a period piece and being played as a period time. I'm like, well, Nick Cage has played it that way. I don't know if everyone else is really going that deep into it.
I thought that the guy that was Electro in one of the trailers was definitely doing a period sensibility thing.
Maybe.
He's like,
I don't know.
Hey, what are you doing over here? Like he was doing like a Lower East Side guy from the 30s kind of a thing. So I don't know. I mean, anyway, I'm going to see it in a couple of days, so I'm just going to hold off in terms of like drowning myself in stuff. Did you watch it?
I did.
What'd you think?
I thought it looked fun. I thought all the trailers looked fun. I'm all for it. I'm down. I'm down the clown.
Yeah.
We also got a new trailer for Lanterns.
I did watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah. More green.
Yeah.
More green. Did you catch the interview with the showrunner talking about how the show has two timelines?
Yes, 2016, 2026. Yes.
Do you think that Hal Jordan's dead in 2026?
No.
You don't think that he's the murder that is being investigated by John?
No.
Why not?
I mean, maybe he is. I don't think he's dead. Maybe they believe he's dead. My theory right now for the show, and a lot of it comes from this new trailer, is that whatever happens in 2016 fully sours Hal Jordan on the Green Lantern Corps. And he goes rogue. And in 2026, Jon Stewart is called up to bring him in. And that's what I think is going on.
So when is he training Jon Stewart?
I think he's training Jon Stewart in 2016.
Okay.
And whatever murder mystery that they're doing in 2016 is what pushes Hal over the edge. Not like, now I'm evil, but like he breaks away from the Lanterns, but he keeps his ring. And in 2026, the Guardians are like, all right, that's enough with Hal Jordan. Go get his ring. Like we're done with this guy. He's not following the rules, blah, 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 but he won't give up the ring. Go get him. You know, that kind of deal. Because if you look in that trailer, there's a bit that is clearly like even further back from like maybe the 90s or whatever, from when Jon Stewart's a kid and he's watching Hal Jordan on TV, and his suit is full green. Right. It's a bright green.
Right.
And so I think his suit is going to end up the way we've seen it over time, representing his own tarnish. You know, being tarnished and losing faith in the Corps.
I'm kind of curious what the suits are going to look like in modern day stuff, because the suit that we've seen is quite clearly his like 80s suit, and it is clearly designed as a nod to how 80s superhero movie suits or 90s superhero movie suits looked. It looks like it's like the big foam suit kind of is what the vibe looks like to me. Am I crazy?
I would say so.
It looked really bulky.
It definitely looks bulky. I don't disagree with that. But it's also got like that weird patching format that they love to do on suits these days. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to definitely have that no matter what.
But then it's not hitting that 80s look.
Well, here's the deal. Actually, somebody did a really interesting thing. They took a bunch of the costumes from the MCU that are like busy, and they erased all of the lines, and every costume looks stupid as shit. Like, I mean, that's honestly the reason why they look stupid as shit without the lines. You need that breakup to make it look real, because otherwise it just looks like a Halloween costume. That becomes the problem. It starts looking like a Halloween costume. And like I've told the story 100 times, man. But I was on the set of a number of superhero movies, and I've talked to a number of costume designers on superhero movies, and every single one has always told me the same thing: that texture is there because when you watch this shit without the texture, it looks fake. The texture makes it look real, and I think the lines are just the next iteration of that. Sort of creates more physicality to it, and it doesn't look like a Party City costume.
Well, I think the line started coming in when somebody was like, okay, you gotta have the texture. Does it need to be so big that it's like so noticeable in the costume? Can we shrink the texture?
Right.
You know, and then they started adding the lines to kind of break it up a bit more.
Yeah, like they stopped making it look like a basketball, because that's what they were looking like for a minute. They look like basketballs. Like you could really see the texture on them. But yeah, I think the lines break it up in a way that, again, like having looked at some of these costumes with the lines, right, all this guy did was erase the lines, and you're like, oh wow, that looks really cheap and shitty that way. Like, wow. So yeah, I mean, I don't love it, but I don't know that the solution. It's a challenging solution. You know what I mean? Like, I think like a show like The Boys doesn't always do that, but I don't think that in The Boys, if it looks like a Halloween costume, that's
it's
okay.
Fine. Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, like, it's just the tone is different, right? So
yeah, that's a very different tone. Where, like, you know, I am not a fan of Guy Gardner's costume in Superman. Like, I just don't. It doesn't look like a Green Lantern outfit. It's not very. I know they're trying to do like a team look, but it's a team look based on Mr. Terrific's look, because Mr. Terrific has such a great costume, and I think that was a mistake. I think it looks bad. I'd like to see those characters in different outfits. Not Mr. Terrific, obviously, but like Hawkgirl and Green Lantern and Guy Gardner. But and we'll see. We have yet to see Jon Stewart's suit.
no idea what it looks like. Yeah.
You know, if he even has one, who knows? Maybe he just walks around in scrubs.
I saw somebody else mention that, I don't know if it's on our Discord or somewhere else, that the trailer highlights a potential problem in the program, which is that because this is the Marine Jon Stewart, he's being played as like much more by the book and stiff, and Hal Jordan is like a fuck up. And so we're going to really enjoy Hal Jordan, and we're going to feel resentful towards Jon Stewart because he's a fun guy.
He's Architect Marine in the movie. Or in the show, to be clear. But
still, same thing. He's got the Marine thing, so he's got to stick up his ass. Like, that's...
Yeah. I mean, I think... you're definitely, you're going to like messy Hal Jordan. I mean, people like messy Hal Jordan. That's... Hal Jordan's entire personality has become, I'm a messy bitch. My life is constant trash because I can't do anything.
But that's so funny because I remember when they introduced that and how fucking absolutely furious people got and the death threats they sent in and stuff when Hal...
No, I mean, this goes back to before either of us were reading comics. I mean, this is back in the 70s. They made him a messy bitch.
I thought
he was walking around as I was watching a video of a breakdown in the trailer, and the person pulled up a letter from like a 1974 issue. It was like, the reason I love Hal Jordan is that in the last 12 issues, he's had 2 girlfriends, 3 jobs, and lost his apartment. It's like, that's who he's been that for a very long time. Since Denny O'Neil came in and was like, I'm messing with this guy.
My vision of him always was that he was a fucking tight ass.
Yeah. I mean, he runs into the Superman is boring problem, like many of the DC heroes do, because even when in Green Lantern, Hal Jordan was a messy bitch, you go read Justice League, and he's like, it's me, Hal Jordan, I'm great, blah, 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 blah. It's different stuff. They weren't following through on everything.
Well, people did get really mad. Or you watch
Super Friends, and he's the fucking getting hit in the head by a bird.
People did get really mad when he was a drunk driver.
Yes.
That was really upset people very
much. Yeah, that was Emerald Dawn. Yeah.
People, again, sent death threats to Ron Mars about that.
That was not Ron Mars.
I know, but he was getting them anyway.
He was getting them for Emerald Twilight.
Oh, okay. You're right.
for turning him into Parallax.
I got confused. Yeah, people hated that, and then they hated that. Well, I thought that was the most interesting thing you could have done with Hal Jordan was make him evil.
The turn of Hal Jordan from Green Lantern to Parallax to Spectre, I think, is one of the best hero stories in comics, in modern comics, and it bums me out that then they were like, no, he's back to being Green Lantern. Yeah. It's like that's boring. That's boring to me.
It's like one of these things like where it's like there's 75 human Green Lanterns, and you're like, there's too many. There's too many. Yeah. And they got to keep introducing new ones every time you turn around.
Yes. There are, I think there's like 7 human Green Lanterns now. And it's like, how is that possible?
I think Kyle's not a Green Lantern anymore, right? He's a White Lantern now?
I don't know. No, I think he's back to being a Green Lantern.
Is he back to being Green Lantern? Okay.
I think so. I know the last Green Lantern storyline I read, they found him on a planet and he was like, he had gone insane. And then like they gave him a ring. He's like, I'm better now or whatever. And, and they're like, here's Kid Lantern. And he's like, what? Like, how many are there? Why are there so many human Green Lanterns? What's going on?
All right. What's next?
Next is the new Masters of the Universe trailer. The final trailer is what they've called it.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I know people who've seen the picture and responses are divided.
Okay.
Everybody seems to agree that the last 30 minutes of this movie are great, just terrific. The point of contention is whether the previous hour and a half is you can sit through. Like that's sort of the point of contention. Some people are like, I think it's fun the whole way through, and some people are like, it's sludge, it's not good, but the last half hour is incredible. Okay. And so I'm kind of curious where we're going to come down on that one.
I'm curious by this trailer is really pushing the nostalgia of He-Man. It opens with the old opening and like it's like 40 years in the making or whatever and blah blah blah. And I wonder if that's working.
I guess we'll see.
I mean, we've discussed this before of like, is there that kind of connection to He-Man? I will say I saw somebody talking about it and being like, I think the movie looks dumb. My 9-year-old son saw it, and he is so excited by a guy whose neck gets big and another guy who's got a giant metal fist.
That's the thing. I mean, like, so the genius of He-Man as a toy line and as a cartoon was that it truly just appealed to 8-year-olds. Like, really, you had to be like my friend Drew is a little bit older than me, and he's just too old for have been a Masters of the Universe kid, and so he's baffled that anybody would even be slightly interested in this. Yeah. So he has no sense of nostalgia for it at all. But like, I don't have a nostalgia for it, but like I recognize it. I guess that's close to being, I guess that's like Family Guy nostalgia where it's like, hey, remember Fisto? Remember Moss Man? But
I mean, I guess because I had toys, you were too old for He-Man.
I had plenty of He-Man toys.
Did you have He-Man toys?
Yeah, I had He-Man toys. Okay. I was exactly the right age for He-Man because the first He-Man toy came with a DC comic in it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I guess it was like 83, 84 when He-Man started, right?
Something like that. I mean, the thing is also like I was a stunted child for a very long time.
Sure.
But
for a very long time, 50 years.
50 years. I
did see that they turned Man's Chinese into Castle Grayskull, and I was like, cool. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. That's definitely, if I was still living in LA, I would have gone down there to get a picture in front of it, just because like that's really cool.
Dolph Lundgren did a passing of the sword to the new He-Man at the premiere.
Oh, good for him.
That's cute.
Sure, I guess.
The thing is that the nostalgia is for the Dolph Lundgren movie.
Dolph Lundgren showed up and was like, I hope you were able to afford lighting throughout the entire film.
That was one of our problems.
That was one of ours. We ran out of money and couldn't use lights anymore.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
That's it for news.
That's all we got, huh?
That's all I got.
Well, we feel like an hour on news, so. All right, we got letters this week?
Letters. Christian says, Dear Dave, I'm currently reading through Dynamite's excellent James Bond series, and I've also just finished IDW's Godzilla's Monsterpiece Theater by Tom Scioli, which is one of my favorite series of the past decade. This brings me to my question. What are some of your favorite comics that are based on pre-existing characters? P.S. Since you asked a few episodes ago, the Dear Dave is an honorific, since in my mind you currently hold the Late Night with David Letterman championship belt for mailbag segment excellence.
What you go first on this one?
Gonna throw my pencil. There you go. Jeez. That's what Dave would do all the time.
He threw it over his shoulder, though.
Wouldn't he throw it at the camera?
Yeah, but he never hit it.
No, I didn't mean to.
It would be really funny if you broke your camera right there.
It would have been funny. It would have been funny. I didn't mean to hit the camera. I was trying to go over it, but what are you gonna do? The camera's too close. I guess G.I. Joe, the old G.I. Joes.
That's the thing. G.I. Joe is probably the biggest answer here because I think that. But the relationship between G.I. Joe, because my answer here is going to be Rom Space Knight, and the relationship between G.I. Joe toys in the comics and Rom Space Knight toys in comics are exactly the same, which is that these characters had nothing, and then the comics made them.
Yeah.
Like, they had no story, they had no real anything, and so the comics truly defined them to the point where basically Larry Hama was like just inventing Joes at a certain point.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, like
the guy should be a billionaire. Like, it's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's really crazy. Although technically G.I. Joe was a toy long before the 12-inch, the 3.75-inch toys. He was 12-inch Barbie-sized toy in the 60s. And then he was in... then they changed
him. Action Man?
Action Man, because the Vietnam War soured everybody on GIs.
Because they were like, we can't do like G.I. Joe with hash cigarette grip. Like, that's just not going to work out.
He ended up in Action Force in the UK. Pretty good stuff. So that's honestly the real answer is G.I. Joe, but it's just like so fascinating, sort of the relationship.
It's also like the only one I ever read about, like, of a pre-existing thing. Like, I've never been too much into pre-existing stuff moved into comics. Like, I tried, like, back in the day in the 80s, I tried reading the Ghostbusters comics. I just couldn't get into them when they were published by, like, Now. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And X-Files comics, I tried. I couldn't get into it, back in the 90s. They just never, for some reason, I think it's very rare that something that was not made for comics transfers well to comics. That's my thought on it.
I don't know. I think that a Ghostbusters comic could be really well done. The problem is that you're working within a licensed structure and you're being told what you can and can't do, and that makes things more complicated. Rom Space Knight is kind of like incredible because he's a really cool toy and he had no real story or anything like that. And then Marvel got...
He didn't even have a villain. He was just one figure.
Just a guy, just Rom Space Knight, yeah. He's a cool guy, though. And the Marvel comic was, like, really good. Like, really good. Bill Mantlo and Sal Buscema were basically the guys on it pretty much the whole time. Fucking Frank Miller did the first issue cover, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's crazy, but it was, like, really good. And fucking Rom Space Knight introduced significant aspects of the Marvel Cosmic Universe, which is, like, amazing. So that's a tough one because they don't have the rights anymore. I think they just put out an omnibus. I think they finally got the ability to do that. It's pretty cool. It's really they made like a real comic. Like they didn't.
No, it was a real series. Yeah,
like with real characters and like stuff happened and like
I mean, Marvel did that with all of these things. The Transformers series they did too was like like deep in, and also had like crossovers with like Spider-Man and stuff, which was real weird. Yeah. And then G.I. Joe, I mean, G.I. Joe, they were killing off characters left and right all the time. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, fuck it, here you go. Cobra Commander's dead. They replaced him with Fred the janitor. It's like, what? Like they were willing to go all over the place with these books. It was pretty crazy. It was pretty great.
Yeah, I mean, but there's other ones. Boom did a really good Planet of the Apes books. They did some really good ones that I like quite a bit. And
Star Trek. Did you ever get into any of the Star Trek books?
The DC Star Trek I read, that was pretty good.
That was the Peter David one.
The Peter David one, and there's like occasional good Star Wars titles now in the Marvel era. I never liked the Star Wars titles in the Dark Horse era. It just never really worked for me.
What about classic Marvel Star Wars? Like between movies, original movies.
The thing is, classic Marvel Star Wars is terrible, but it's like really charming. And it's really charming, and also it's really interesting to see people have no idea where Star Wars is going or what it's even about per se, because only the first movie had come out. They just had no sense of like what it was. Yeah. And so they just wrote stories like according to their understanding of science fiction at the time. And I think it's really fascinating to read those. They're not good per se.
One of my favorite things is that because the comics came out before the movie, and there's a Jack Kirby cover for like the first or second issue, and it's clear that nobody gave him like photo reference for Darth Vader. Somebody just explained to him what Darth Vader looked like, and he just drew a completely different looking Darth Vader at the end of the day. It's like, yep, that's it.
In their Empire Strikes Back adaptation, Yoda's purple. He's a purple little dude smoking a pipe. That's what he was originally designed as. So they had, because of the lead time, they just got the fucking concept art. And they worked with that. And that's all kinds of stuff like that in those. But the Marvel Star Wars is fairly terrible by modern standards. But Micronauts I liked as a comic. I thought it was pretty good. I'm trying to think what else. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's some other ones I'm not thinking of that are like classic literature-based comics that I'm not thinking of.
Sure.
But yeah.
Well, there you go. Lance says, as we slowly crawl along ever closer to the purported release of Avengers Doomsday, I was wondering if you guys might be able and willing to consider doing a special sort of what-if one-off episode of the show about the leaked old first draft script for the unceremoniously abandoned Avengers Kang Dynasty by Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania scribe and Rick and Morty vet and Judas writer Jeff Loveness. Pretty sure it's fairly easy to dig up online, and I got to figure Devin at least has probably gotten a hold of it and has at least skimmed it a while back. But if needed, I have a PDF. It's just relatively massive for a text-based file. I doubt I would successfully send it attached as an email.
Lance, I'm sorry to break the news. I'm pretty sure that's fake. It leaked out last year. I'm pretty sure it's totally phony. It's a mess, and I just don't think it's real. It's got weird writing in it, and I think it might be ChatGPT generated, frankly.
Tintin shows up.
But my understanding is it's fake, so I don't think we'll do an episode on that. Because, again, like my understanding is that it's phony. So,
well, there you go. Tom says, there was a discussion on Blue Sky the other day about The Sopranos and whether it effectively portrayed a life of crime without glamorizing it. Personally, I said it did.
How does anybody say otherwise?
Well, let me finish the question. I was wondering if either of you had thoughts on it, on that, and also if, now that you're in the Omniverse, a Sopranos rewatch is something you'd ever consider doing. Thanks for putting out so many fun shows every week. You're welcome, Tom. Thanks for listening.
Funny. They're not funny.
They're definitely not funny.
They're not funny. How does anybody think...
It's not fun.
How does anybody think that The Sopranos glamorizes life of crime? That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I
think people get confused because if you like the characters, that there's a belief that it is thus making you like agree with the characters. But that's the beauty of The Sopranos. You know these people are fucking monsters and idiots. But you love the characters. They're fun, they're funny, they're interesting, you know.
So Sopranos is like the one show that has been able to break my thing of like, I need a show to have at least one good person I can root for to really enjoy it. And Sopranos has no good people to root for. They're all horrible people. And I love it. It's a great show.
I will say that the thing about Sopranos is that when it begins, you might think that Tony is a guy you can root for because he's going to therapy and stuff. And so you think maybe this is it. But then by the end, you realize therapy is just making him a better sociopath.
Which is so great. So great. And it's one of those things, spoilers for The Sopranos, if you haven't watched it. It's one of those things where it's like, into the last season, you're like, he can pull out of this. And then he kills Christopher, and you're like, oh, no, he can't. He's gone too far.
He's a monster. Yeah.
All the other murders, that's fine, but Christopher, too far.
Christopher's like his son, right? I mean, that's the thing. Like Christopher's his favorite.
Yeah.
Christopher is a tremendous fuck up. Christopher deserved to die. I think it's very important to specify that everybody who died on The Sopranos, the main characters, every one of them deserved to die. There is nobody, maybe Adriana, we can argue, maybe didn't. But the thing is also, like, I have like a really complicated set of feelings about her because she chose this life.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, she wanted to be part of that.
She is not a good person, but she is not a monster.
She's not a monster in the same way these other people are. She's sort of a monster in the way that we all, as Americans, Sopranos is basically a critique of capitalism in America, right? That's the whole show. And she's participating in this thing that she knows is bad because she likes what she gets out of it. And that in of itself is a question of like, well, how monstrous is that? And then can we look at ourselves and ask ourselves that same question about us? We participate in these systems that we know are horrific. And we just happen to like what we're getting out of them, so we kind of look the other way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how anyone can look at Sopranos and think it glorifies it. You know, I think perhaps you can make an argument of like, oh, it ends and Tony's fine if you go with the concept that he is not dead at the end. But other than that, I mean, his life is not good.
Well, that's
even at the end, where if your belief is that he is alive at the end, he's clearly living a life where every moment of his life he's afraid someone's going to kill him.
No, I think he's alive at the end. I always believe that he's alive at the end.
Do I, but
David Chase said otherwise.
David Chase says otherwise now. Yeah. He originally said, yeah, he's alive, and now he's like, no, he's dead. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that it actually does the opposite of glamorize crime because it really makes these people into just pathetic dummies. Like, that's the thing. Like, none of these people are masterminds. None of these people are actually cool. They're all a bunch of dipshits. They're all, like, the most banal people. They all have dumb opinions about things. Like, that's one of the best things about the show is, like, Paulie Walnuts having his thoughts about stuff all the time and how dumb it is always, you know? Now, will we do a rewatch?
What's the restaurant he goes to get? Baja Fresh.
Baja Fresh, that's right. I said that forever, and people never understood why I would say Baja Fresh.
It's amazing. That's one of my favorite moments.
I
don't think we've ever gotten closer to our grandfather being on TV than Paulie Walnuts.
Yeah, Paulie Walnuts is pretty close, yeah. Down to the violence and the racism. I
think Paulie Walnuts is quite a bit more violent.
He's more violent in action. Our grandfather would have loved to have been that violent.
Yes.
He did put a mafia license plate in the window of our grandmother's car.
Yes.
Because he wanted to be mafia. He really wanted it very badly. Too dumb for the mafia. Too short for the mafia, maybe. I don't know.
Too short.
Will we ever do it as a rewatch? Maybe. I mean, I love that show. I have not rewatched that show in a few years. When I got together with Brittany, she had never seen it. And so we did a watch, and it was a great experience. And I really enjoy doing that, like going back. The show is endlessly rewatchable. It's like nuts how endlessly rewatchable that show is. And because you think like, oh, I know everything that's going to happen, but it doesn't make a difference. Like, it's just as delightful as it was the first time. Like, I mean, possibly the thing is about like with those kinds of rewatches for Across the Omniverse, as we expand out into other things to talk about, you run into that problem of like, do we want to spend the next 3 years talking about The Sopranos? Yeah. That becomes the issue with something like that.
Not even just talking about The Sopranos, but gushing over The Sopranos. Because we're not going to be like, well, this is stupid. Like, it's The Sopranos. It's great.
Who knows?
It's a great show.
We might have stuff to say. I mean,
I'm sure there's stuff that we would goof on, like, and whatnot. But like, it wouldn't be like The Love Boat, where it's like, man, this is real campy and funny. I think Sopranos overall is going to hold up very well.
I think the thing is that in terms of recap podcasts, I think people do like hearing folks talk about shows that they like already. And that, like, I listened to the show that I stole our podcast ideas from, The Greatest Generation. They watched all of Star Trek. They started with Next Generation. They have watched all of Star Trek, and they have now gone back to Next Generation 10 years after they began. And it's very interesting because they love it. Like, they're like next gen guys, but like, there's like still stuff to talk about and like be funny about that they find. And also because I think what's interesting is that they're 10 years from when they started doing it. Like, they're different people. And I think that's really fun to listen to their new takes on.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, I can see where that'd be fun. But also I would say like Star Trek Next Generation has a lot of really goofy, bad episodes.
Oh, yeah, they just did Code of Honor, the super fucking racist one.
There you go.
Yeah. So,
and the great thing about Star Trek Next Generation is you have to be a little more clear on which one is the super fucking racist one, because there's like 4 or 5 of them.
No, Code of Honor is historically known as
the most super, like the most racist. I don't think there's that many
other super racist ones, are there?
There's the one where they find the Irish people and they're just drunk and hanging out in the hangar the whole episode. You remember that one? That's one of my favorites.
That's right. That's not racist. That's just Irish people.
That's racist as hell. It's super racist.
It's the Irish. Fucking
it doesn't mean it's not racist.
They're fucking booze apes. Remember, half Irish, so I can say that.
You can say it, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I would be interested. There's so many things I would love to talk about on these shows. And it's funny, like, one of the really cool things about doing these shows is that, like, when it started, it was me and Derek, and it was me making Derek watch Star Wars stuff. And Derek didn't like Star Wars. And now Derek's like a Star Wars expert, which is like really funny and like really amazing. But also,
I still don't like the movies.
But what's really funny is that, like, it has, doing the show and all of these shows with Derek has, over the years, when I'm watching stuff, I do often think this would be a fun thing to talk with Derek about, like, on a podcast. Yeah. Like, we would have a really good time talking about this. So it's like kind of funny. Like, there's like, we have to figure out sometimes like what we're going to talk about next or whatever, but it's always, we always know it's going to be like mostly fun to talk about. Like, you know, sometimes it's a pain in the ass, but like mostly it's fun. And so
Secret Invasion
was tough. But like, there's like any show I would do a recap show with Derek. We just have such a good time. I have such a good time doing it. I don't know, maybe Derek hates it, but I have such a good time doing it. And Derek's opinions and Derek's takes are often unpredictable in a way that I find absolutely delightful.
Unpredictable. I'm a wild card.
So yeah. So maybe, who knows, maybe someday there's a Sopranos rewatch on this. Again, it's just like, do we want to sit down and say, okay, for the next 3 years we're watching Sopranos?
Yeah,
that's
rough.
That's the challenge.
Longer, because we'd also have to break in for other shows that are coming out.
Yeah, right? It would be many years watching the Sopranos. Yeah, many years. Yeah, we'd be retiring with the Sopranos. All right, if people have letters of their own to send us, how can they do such a thing?
They can do it by sending it to ask.cinema.sanga@gmail.com. In the subject line, put what show you want it for, Bad Batch or Across the Omniverse, and then one question or comment per email, please. Thank you. And while we're at it, if you're listening to this on like Spotify or iTunes, or it's not iTunes anymore, what is it?
You're not listening to this on Spotify. I just found that out.
Oh, no? Okay.
No, Spotify, something got fucked up, and Spotify is not syndicating the show. Oh. And I've been working with Patreon trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Okay. Well, if you're listening, however you're listening to this, if it's a podcast app, why not jump over to YouTube, go to Cinema Sanga on YouTube, and just subscribe to the page. We're real close to hitting a milestone on there that then YouTube will give us more access to stuff. So I'd like to get there. Let's do it.
Yeah, just do it. You don't have to even watch it. Just fucking subscribe. It's as simple as that. And also rate and review us on your podcast apps and stuff like that.
That'd be fun.
Tell your friends. All right, you ready to talk about the series finale of The Boys?
Sure.
Let's do it. The Boys series finale. My first thing to say about the series finale of The Boys is that the last couple of episodes have been like an hour and a half, and this one's like just an hour. And I'm like, what? How did that decision-making process happen? Like, I don't, like, we're just going to jam a bunch of shit here at the end. I kind of don't get it.
Not only did they jam a bunch of shit there at the end, it was also like flat. I felt like the whole episode was very flat.
Yep.
You know, like nothing shocking happened. Nothing exciting really happened. And I did not like it, is what I'm going to say.
I didn't love it. There's stuff that I liked, and there's stuff that on paper is pretty good. There's like a real sense that I got this season that Jack Quaid was done. Just done.
Jack Quaid in this season, very often I would think of the bit from when they were making the Hobbits, and the guy who played Bilbo, Martin Starr, was like, or not Starr, Martin, whatever his name was. Freeman was like, are you going to have any Hobbits in your fucking Hobbit movie? Like, he's got nothing to do this entire season.
No.
Nothing. And then he's got stuff to do here at the end, but like, he's essentially pointless the entire season.
What I realized watching this episode is that at some point the show decided that Billy Butcher was the main character.
Yes.
That's what happened. The show decided that Butcher was the main character. And there's like an element in this episode of like Terror just dies out of nowhere, which was very funny, by the way. Like, he just dies? Like, the dog was just introduced, basically. Like, we've not had this dog in the whole show. And he's in this season, and then he just lays down and dies. It happens to be the night they kill Homelander.
I was laughing so very hard at that, where it was like, Terror dies, and that's where Billy Butcher is like, I guess I'll just kill everybody then. It's like,
I actually don't mind that from a character perspective, because Ryan had told him to fuck off, and Terror was the last.
I minded that it's all in like 6 minutes.
Oh, no, 100%. Like, it's just all jammed in there. But
like, especially in this season, they did the episode where the dog eats the chocolate and almost dies. Have the dog die there. Like, that happened, and that's when he's like, actually, we should let everybody live. And then the dog, and I see what they're doing. They're connecting. Oh, now the dog dies and he switches. But like, just have the dog die there and have that be the beginning of his final downfall. You know, don't shove it all into one episode in the last 20 minutes of it. It's a weird thing to do.
If it was even the last 20 minutes, like the last 6 minutes, it just like fucking nail it in there. Just really just go at it. There's stuff that I like. I think a big thing about this finale is that it felt cheap.
Yeah.
Which was weird. I just felt like this might be the episode you might save your budget for.
Yeah, you know? Which a lot of people thought they were doing.
And that's not even like, I'm not even saying that like we needed to see Homelander destroying New York City or something like that. I know some people wanted that. They wanted Homelander to snap and like become Miracle Man at the end.
I mean, in somewhat fairness to those people, the print ads and posters for this season showed like the Vought building collapsed, like, and stuff like that. Like, they sold the idea of like, this is going to have a huge epic finale.
Right.
And it does in many ways. It just happens to be the epic finale is at a White House that it has no staff. You know, and it's weird. It's a weird thing.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, the ending of Homelander, I actually really like how he gets taken out, and like that he gets depowered, and then he's doing a MacGruber. I'll suck your dick. Straight up MacGruber.
MacGruber.
Like, I'm wondering if that was even on purpose. Like, he's
I don't
doing
know.
a MacGruber.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Eric Kripke likes MacGruber. I would not be surprised. But I like that.
I'll tell you who definitely likes MacGruber is probably Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg.
But how involved do you think they actually are with this stuff, though?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Not that much. But I like that he's like begging for his life. That the premise is that once you take away the power, he's just pathetic. I think that that's a really important point to make at this point in time.
Yes.
Where we have these people with incredible amounts of power doing horrible, cruel things, and we have to remember that they are pathetic losers.
Yes.
And to not 100% buy into their own mythology of themselves. And so I really like that a lot. And I thought also in a show that has maybe popped too many heads at this point that it really just loses all impact. I actually thought that taking the top of his head off, I thought was pretty good. And I liked it because it is a good way of saying, no, he's definitely dead because his brains fall out onto the Resolute desk. And I'm like, all right, I like that. I mean, I was trying to figure out, like, did I want a bloodier end to Homelander? And I don't think so. I think Billy Butcher basically beating him to death is pretty reasonable.
No, that's very reasonable. And his, his whimpering
it's really
and crying makes it like
really,
that.
Really good,
That's what you wanted to see was that, if they turned it into a Joker Jason Todd bit and it's just like 5 minutes of Billy beating him with a crowbar, it wouldn't be as cathartic as watching him cry and beg for his life.
Right.
Right. So yeah, I think they did that well.
So that was I thought pretty well done. Again, like I do think that there is like a real sense of like we're shooting on this set and we're not going away from this set, like that vibe in the White House stuff.
And we're not going to hide that it's a set.
Yeah, it really feels like a set. It does not feel like a real place. It's kind of weird. Obviously at the end of the comic, there's the big White House thing. That's a very famous panel that people like to post. It's Butcher walking up to the White House and there's like 1,000 soups in the air above the White House. You're never going to get that on TV. It's just not going to happen. And I don't expect that to happen. And again, I don't necessarily want Homelander to like be destructive. I think that that's less interesting. Like him being destructive and destroying the city and killing people, like doing his I could shoot somebody on Times Square. But he did that already. He fucking
killed that guy. Yeah.
I don't think that's as interesting as the people saying that he's pathetic. I think that him being frightening, because by the end he doesn't. I think Homelander's a really interesting character. I think that he's the best character on the show, and by the end he just wants to be loved, and nobody loves him, and he doesn't like that people fear him. But by the end he has decided, fuck it, like I'm gonna make people fear me. Yeah. And that's his snapping point during the speech, where he's like, he sees the word father, and this is a show that's exclusively about daddy issues, and and that's what snaps him, and he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to be the bad guy, I'm just going to do it. But I'm glad that he doesn't get a chance to do it, because that would undercut the idea that he's a pathetic loser.
I agree.
The Deep gets killed, and
did not like it. Thought it was very flat.
So here's the thing. There's parts that I really like. So Chase Crawford, Deep is the second best character on the program. And so much of that is Chase Crawford. So much of that
I would say he's the best character on the program, personally.
I think the thing about the Deep, he's the most enjoyable character. I don't think there's like that much going on with him.
No, there's nothing going on.
He's really shallow. Homelander's got like a lot going on. Like as a character, I think he's really like.
Well, all right. Let me rephrase it. He's my favorite character.
Oh yeah, I think the Deep is the most fun character. Anytime the Deep's on screen, it's going to be fun and funny. And I do like that at the end when he's up against Starlight and she's like, are you ever going to take accountability for anything? And he goes, no. That was really fucking funny. That was really, really great. I really did not like, one, that she flies him to the beach.
I don't understand that.
He's the Lord of the Seven Seas.
It made no sense. And then at that moment, she does not know that all the fish are going to kill him if he.
Right, she doesn't know. Like that's the thing. Nobody knows this.
Yeah.
And so that drove me nuts, because this seems like, this is the worst possible thing for you to do. Take him.
Yeah, it made no sense to me.
I like that the fish killed him. That's obviously what was meant. That's how it should have gone down. 100%. And that she was involved, obviously, because he assaulted her in the first season.
It all goes all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, so like, that's fine. Although I think it's really interesting that the show has not reminded us of their thing very much.
I mean, I guess it hasn't. Maybe in like the previous Leons, I don't know.
But like within the context of the show, she does not have anything going on with the Deep for like seasons. It feels like nothing significant.
I feel like at some point in the season they ran into each other and there was a quick talk about it. Maybe I'm wrong.
This season, maybe they've reminded us, but I think that as characters, their plot lines did not feel like they ever intersected again that significantly.
No, I don't think so.
I might be missing some episodes. That show's been on for 7 years, and I did not watch the whole series again before watching this finale.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just didn't make any sense why she would throw him in the fucking ocean. Like, that's the dumbest thing you could possibly do with the guy that controls fish.
Yeah, I did not understand that at all.
Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, it would have been better if, like, they had found out somehow. Like, and I think with this kind of a show, they can find out somehow. Like, this is not like There's a part in this episode where Mother's Milk is like, remember when we were security for the president last year? I have all the codes from that. Like, they keep the codes for a year. They do not keep the codes for a year.
Yeah,
whatever. The show just needs to get them in the White House.
It's a different fucking president.
It's a different president, but they change the codes all the time.
Yeah.
And but the show just needs to get in the White House. So whatever. It's fine. But like within that same context, you could have had somebody find out from the fish somehow. Do you know what I mean? Like. It's the boys.
Well, this is I think one of the problems with this finale, and it's an interesting thing because it's also the thing that made the show enjoyable to watch overall. They killed too many characters before the finale. You know, like
I don't know if I agree with that.
But Black Noir is the one that tells them, "Hey, he can't go to the fish anymore." You know, that's how you would get around that. But he's dead. Like
I mean, honestly, if we're being very honest, I would rather the fish tell them.
But I guess how would the fish tell them?
But there's like a million ways. You can have like a fucking octopus squirt ink. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's the boys. Like, I'm willing to accept a lot of dumb stuff if it's done funny. And the thing is that the boys themselves spend a lot of time on this series doing nothing. So
their plans on how to defeat people are not much different from like how you go to the store. They're like, we'll get what we need, and then we'll leave. It's like, you need more of a plan. Like, that's not enough.
Yeah.
Their plan to kill Homelander is like, okay, we'll go into the White House, we'll kill him, and then we'll leave.
Yeah, that is the whole plan. There is no.
Yeah. Luckily, nobody works at the White House. So it's not a problem. Because God forbid if Secret Service came in the middle of that fight and just started shooting the hell out of everybody, they're done.
Yeah, I mean, that's, they did get shot at. They get shot in that somebody.
Weird, in the tunnel. Yeah. But when they're in like the West Wing, they're just fighting. Nobody's there. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I don't think though that I think that I would not have. I wish we actually say it killed more characters over the course of the season. I wish that it felt like more like a ramp up to the finale. I don't necessarily need them to. Like, also, I think too many of the boys lived at the end.
Well, this is one of the things I've not read the comic. Right, I've read the first couple issues. I couldn't get into it.
No, I hated the comic. Yeah,
my understanding is in the comic, Homelander dies, and there's like 2 to 3 more issues where it's the boys fighting themselves, and it's Butcher killing everybody, and that's kind of what the show needed to be.
Right.
You know, like Homelander should have died 2 episodes ago, and then it's Butcher. They have to clean up Butcher at that point?
I don't agree with that though, because I do think that the thing is that Butcher and Homelander are the leads of the show. That's the thing. Those are the leads of the show. Now, it may not be how it was supposed to be, but that is how it is. It's like how Homer became the lead of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Like Bart was supposed to be the lead of The Simpsons, but it ended up being Homer. And so I think that those 2 characters are the leads of the show. I don't know that. I think it'd be really anticlimactic to kill him that much earlier. I do think that this should have been a 90-minute episode where you could have spent more time with Butcher being a sociopath at the end.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know that I want him to like. I don't know exactly 100% what I want out of that. Obviously, Yui killing Butcher is the right move. That's the right way for this to go down. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But I like when everybody dies. I think the problem with the season was that they spent too much fucking time fucking advertising Vought Rising. Just insane how much time we spent on Soldier Boy and fucking Bomb Sight and Clara would have wanted this and shit like that. It's like, why are we doing this? This is not forwarding anything within our story in any significant way.
No.
And then the other thing is, they bring the Gen V characters in last episode.
To do nothing.
Well, they tell the characters to do nothing last episode, and then this episode they go, we still need you to do nothing.
We need you to do even less.
We need you to actually leave the program now.
Yeah, we need you to end your show. Your show's been canceled. Goodbye. That's the interview. We know your show was setting you up as the one who could defeat Homelander, and we know we're going to the White House to fight Homelander. Let's not bring the other superpowered people with us.
I mean, I suspect that what happened behind the scenes is that because Gen V got canceled, and I'm assuming Gen V season 2 just did not do well.
But I mean, it got canceled well after this was shot.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, Gen V ended, and then this season started like a month later. There was no time to change anything.
You're right. Yeah. I mean, because it really does feel like a thing where they just wrote her out because they realized that nobody cared about these characters.
Yeah.
But like that, yeah, you're right. The timing of that doesn't really work, does it?
I don't believe so.
Because that's the vibe. Is it really? Because that was the whole thing. Is that her blood powers? She was the one that could kill Homelander. I don't mind that she can't kill Homelander.
She was created from the same version of the serum as Homelander. They're the only two with that version. It was like a big thing, and then it goes nowhere. It's such a odd decision. Like she should be there at the fight.
Well,
like
the thing is,
even obviously you don't want her to be the one that beats him, right? Because that's not what the show is. That'd be real weird. But like, it's weird to be like, no, we don't want you and your friends who also have superpowers to come with us to fight the people with superpowers. It's very weird.
Well, I think the thing that's really interesting is that the role that she should have had in this episode was the role that what's her name has.
Kimiko.
And they just introduced this concept last episode out of nowhere that maybe they put her in uranium room. She can get the same powers as Soldier Boy.
Yeah. We've been working on this secret. You didn't notice us building this uranium room.
But I think I feel like maybe like the plan might have been at one point that the girl from Gen V pulls the V1 out of Homelander's blood. I mean, that is something that she could have done. And that is, but then I guess at some point somebody was like, wait, we can't have a character from a different show while we have other characters with nothing to do from our show. Yeah. Like Kimiko has nothing to do this episode, in this finale. So I wonder if that's part of it too, because she definitely, that should have been her role. She pulls the V1 out of his blood. Yeah. But then what does Kimiko do? And then you have nothing. But that way they fucking jammed that in last episode. Oh, by the way, what if we put her in a room full of uranium?
It's not even, by the way, it's, oh, we forgot to tell you guys, we have these Russian notebooks and we've built a room filled with uranium in the school. What? What, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it does not look secure. But yeah,
it's in the fucking hallway. Nobody noticed. Like, it is essentially the scene from Peacemaker season 2 where he looks over and there's the fucking Hitler painting. He's like, how did I not notice that? Like,
yeah, I mean, the thing is,
fuck?
They had a whole season to set that up and they just didn't do it. Like, they spent the whole season going back and forth on the V1.
They had like 3 seasons because that goes back to Soldier Boy being around. Like, whenever he first showed up.
Yeah, but I think that earlier in the season, you could have had them discover the notebooks and then learn that that's how he got that power and then move forward with it. Like, you could have threaded it out instead of like just jamming it in last episode out of nowhere.
Have them call the Libyans to get some plutonium.
Well, the thing is, the show's afraid of having these characters do anything except not get killed by Homelander. So, like, that's like a big problem with the program. And there's at the end of this, fucking Homelander's like, I can't believe I didn't kill you all those times. And I'm like, yeah, me neither, man.
I was like, come on.
Yeah, me neither, bro. But like, that's the thing is that instead of having like them do side adventures, like we have to get uranium. Like, how do we do that? That's an adventure. They have to keep these characters all enmeshed all the time in a way that is just doesn't work over the course of 5 seasons. And it becomes ridiculous that they're constantly up against these Vought people when there's a whole world of other soups out there who obviously are Vought because all the soups are Vought. I get it. But like those hardcore central Vought people, they're always up against, as opposed to going out and doing other adventures, other places, doing other things. And, you know, like they had Ryan out in Russia. Like, why couldn't that have been part of a story?
We have to go find Ryan. Yeah.
And then like we find Ryan and then Ryan can help us get the uranium because he can go into Chernobyl.
If we get Ryan's blood, we can figure out a way to work back the serum that created Homelander and like take away his powers and like just different things you could do. But
yeah, but everything was just about them directly front load. And it's just them butting their heads directly against Vought every single episode. I mean, it's been the show. The show really, I think, after Herogasm season 3, I think is when the show kind of like peaked.
It petered out, yeah.
And then it just couldn't top that anyway. And then it also just did not have any.
Well, I think the Deep having to kill his octopus girlfriend after that was pretty good.
No, there's like really good parts, but like as a show, like once we got to Herogasm, once we got to that bit where they fought Homelander and he really wrecked them all, it just was never, the fact that they just kept running into Homelander just really just.
That's the biggest problem is like every 2 episodes they run into Homelander and just walk away. And literally multiple times it's just they just walk away.
Yeah. I don't understand. Like I'm not usually this guy. I don't like being this guy. But how did Homelander get nerfed so badly in that final battle? He's like got the eye beams, and in the past I think he cut Kimiko in half.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, he's knocking her down.
I mean, that I'm not going to complain about too much because that's superhero stuff, superhero 101.
I don't disagree, but the problem is that in that final battle, you're making him not feel dangerous.
That is the problem. And that's the problem with this whole show at the end of the day is because they've gone up against him so many times and walked away, he doesn't feel dangerous.
Right.
You know, and so like it's not very exciting. Like this is the final battle. It doesn't feel any different than previous battles because they fight all the time, and it's not like getting Gen V1 has made him more powerful. It's made him immortal.
Immortal, yeah.
You know, so like if you can figure out a way to cut off his head, he's still gonna fucking die. Like you just got to figure out a way to cut off his head. Or in theory, he's donezo, right? Like he can't do anything. Like, but like they don't. There's nothing about him that becomes more terrifying,
right?
Because he's immortal.
You
know, and that really makes it feel weird and disconnected from everything. And I'm not disconnected. It makes it feel anticlimactic because there's no new grave threat that wasn't there in season 4 or season 3 or season 2 or season 1.
Right.
He is still just as powerful.
Right.
You know.
But he's less powerful because
he's actually ends up being less powerful.
Like he should have been like blowing the Oval Office to pieces. I mean, like, and again, I get it. Like, I'm not saying like budget wise, I understand why it isn't that. I get it. Like, I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying that if you're gonna have that final battle, like there's some level of it has got to have a feeling that he's actually like dangerous, which he just doesn't feel like in that final battle.
I'm going to disagree on budget wise because the show is apparently extremely popular, right? It's very, very popular. Eric Kripke got into like a fight online with people where he's like everyone says it's not good, but 55 million people watch it every week. And it's like, that's a lot of fucking people. And we've seen shows with smaller budgets do a lot more. So I don't buy into the budget. They couldn't do anything.
I wonder if Kripke was like, you know what I really miss? I miss the CW. Let's do a finale that's at CW level.
but his finale, his planned finale for Supernatural is so much. There's so much more going on in that than there is in this.
Yeah.
You know, like this just doesn't have anything to it.
No, it doesn't have a pop.
You know,
I think one of the big problems also, and this is a big problem this whole season and maybe last season too, is that there is no chemistry between Yui and Starlight. And they just could not have less chemistry. And that's on top of the fact that the characters were written into positions like where they're like weird about each other.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that there's just no chemistry between those.
There's no chemistry there.
And it's like
we had not discussed this because there was an episode a bit ago on this podcast where we were discussing The Boys, and you were like they've really turned Starlight into a jerk. She's a jerky person. And you had not watched the episode yet. I was like, there's a bit where they bring that up. And Huey, in what, like 2 or 3 episodes ago, was like, she's become a real bitch. It's like the show knows they've done her wrong. Right. That they've gone the wrong direction with her.
She has a speech
but they
about
never
it in this
fix
episode.
it. Yeah. But they don't fix it. They don't actually do anything about it.
Yeah.
You know? And it's weird. And it doesn't work. And yeah, their relationship does not work. At the end, when it's like, oh, she's pregnant, and they got a store together, and it's like, well, that store's going to go out of business in a week. First off, and you know, second, I don't buy that they would stay together. I just don't see it because there's no connection between them.
No, there's nothing. Do you know what's really funny is that Yui had a lot more chemistry with Victoria Newman when he worked for her,
who he's now married to.
And so like that's very funny that like his wife was in the show. She's not. They got married now. They were not married then.
I don't even know if they were dating. I think they met on the show.
Yeah. There's other stuff that I do like. I think David Diggs got done dirty. There was a really interesting storyline that they were like teasing with him, where he knows that this is all nonsense, and he's trying to guide Homelander to be a decent god. But that's a storyline that needed to happen over the course of the whole season, not just in the last 2 minutes. And I just think that they did not give him everything that he needed.
I agree.
The cat has some ideas about that.
I hear him. I also think his death makes no sense.
No, what was Mother's Milk thinking?
Well, not even what was Mother's Milk thinking. What was what's her name thinking? Because we saw earlier in the season that when when they have sex, he yells,
right,
and he causes one of the blasts,
right.
So she's like, "We got this thing now. It'll stay in your mouth." He would have died the first time they fucked.
No, the premise was that they wanted to keep the ball gag in his mouth and that he kept blowing the ball gag out. I mean, he would have died, but that's fine. That's a boys thing. Characters who die while they fuck, that's 100% a boys thing. I don't mind that at all.
But usually it's like...
Also, Ashley's not very smart.
No, I guess she's not.
No, it is an accident. This wouldn't have been on purpose. She would have been like, oh my God, I didn't realize it was going to blow up his head. Like, that's like a very classic way that characters die. The question is, why did Mother's Milk believe that the guy who has the super shouting, why does he believe this ball gag's going to do something to him? And again, like, there's a number of things like where the characters know things that we, the audience, know. But we don't understand how the characters know it. And that's kind of annoying, especially when there's been so many hours of this season that has felt like back and forth on the V1 and shit like that. There's opportunities for these characters to have learned things or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's opportunities. I really like what happened to Ashley. I thought her ending was really, really good.
Did she get impeached?
Well, I like that she's like, I'm not going anywhere. And then it cuts to her in the back of the cop car. I thought that was really, really good.
That was very funny.
I mean, I wouldn't have minded if she died. It's whatever. But like, I think actually in many ways, like her being humiliated is better.
I like that she does not die because that's been her character the whole show. Is she's the one who somehow just keeps surviving all of this stuff. Yeah, that's the thing.
She survived all the way. She went from a publicist to the president.
Yeah. I mean, she says, I think in the last episode, she says, I've come a long way from being like Anne Hathaway's assistant publicist.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, all right. That's, it's funny. It's a funny bit that, this is how far she's gone, is she ends up being president, even if it's only for like 5 minutes, she's president,
Yeah, no, it's
that's
wild.
A good time.
Yeah. It's really, really wild. So I like how she goes. Her ending I thought was really, really good. And I ended up liking that character a lot more than I did initially by the end of this season.
Yeah.
I really liked, because she's a character who has failed upwards, but just by virtue of just surviving when everybody else got killed. But like, this was the season where it really caught up with her, like in a very big way, like where she was like, really, there's nowhere else to go from here. So she's definitely gonna die this time. Like, she can't weasel her way out of this one. And so I thought that her turn made a lot of sense. But I still think I think that Oh Father was like a really great character, man. And I thought David Diggs was so good. And I don't think that they just did not. He needed more. I just felt like they needed more of him. I
don't disagree.
I think Ryan sucks. Ryan sucked the whole time. Ryan sucked here at the end. Ryan should have been in the fight from the beginning, because that, at least he's the same power level as Homelander. So at least if Homelander's not killing everybody, Ryan going toe to toe with him makes sense.
Yeah.
And Billy can be involved at that point, obviously. But they bring him in late, and I thought that he should have been there from the beginning. Because I just don't know why he's not just vaporizing these people, which he could do, and the show's established that he could do, and that's aggravating to me. Starlight, man.
Especially, that's really also the kind of thing you can fix with one line.
Yeah.
You can have Homelander say, I'm going to beat you until you beg me to stop.
Yeah.
and then I'll kill you, or like that kind of thing.
There is a line that Homelander has. I didn't write down, but he's like, "This wasn't the deal, Butcher," and I like the idea that Homelander thinks that because they're arch nemeses, that they have to keep fighting each other. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a line in that about this, like this wasn't the deal or something like that. And I thought
I don't remember that, but yeah,
I thought that was a really interesting premise that could have been explored a little bit more. That Homelander likes the idea of Billy Butcher as his nemesis because this is somebody who actually cares about him. Not in a good way, but like he's like focused on him.
Yeah, and it also connects into when the show began. One of the things that Vought was having problems with was that there was nobody for the Supes to fight.
Right.
And so they started creating terrorists, super terrorists, which they dropped that plot line relatively quickly.
Yes.
And then they had the Starlighters, right? And then like they kind of did that thing for a while, but that never really went anywhere because every time they met a Starlighter would say to them, "Don't do anything, just go sit at home." So that nothing happened there.
Cut it out.
Yeah. But now that I've recruited all of you, don't do anything.
Yeah.
Insanity.
But yeah, I think that would have been a really good psychological angle to take. Is sort of like that. Butcher's the only person who isn't afraid of Homelander.
Yeah.
And they have this connection that he has with nobody else, even as fucked up as it is. I mean, Homelander's whole thing is fucked up. His brain is so twisted that, like, it would have been a really interesting thing for the end for him to... Because that's what he says, like, all the times I didn't kill you. It gives that sense, again, that he likes the idea of having an arch nemesis.
Well, it's playing into the Batman-Joker thing, where the Joker's like, I don't want to kill Batman because then what am I going to do? Like, things will get boring.
Right.
You know, it plays into that aspect. But
yeah, but the show didn't really pick that up properly, I don't think. I think it's there. I think it's there to be found, but I don't think the show picks it up properly.
No.
Starlight, I think, should have died a lot earlier. I do not know why.
She didn't die at all.
I know. Like, I mean, like, she should not have made it to the end. Like, she should have died at some point this season.
No, because you need Huey to have the happy ending. You can't have the show start with Huey's girlfriend dying and then Huey's new girlfriend dies as well. You know, it's too much.
I guess
it's too much.
I really just came to dislike her so much by season 5.
Yeah,
and I I've honestly, like, I have been, like, interrogating, like, is there a misogynistic element to me not liking her? And I just think
but the show tells us that they know they've made her unlikable.
Yeah.
So I think they know it's there. I think they know they messed up that character.
Yeah.
I also think it's real weird that they're naming their child after his dead girlfriend. That seems creepy to me.
I don't know. I think it's okay.
That seems real creepy to me.
I don't think it's creepy. I think it's sweet.
I would say it's sweet if if Starlighter was also her friend.
No, I don't think it has to be. I think that so this is a little personal, but, like, as somebody with a dead wife, if I date anybody else or get serious with anybody else, they're going to have to understand the place that Brittany has in my heart. Like, she will always have it. And there's nothing that's going to change that. And so to honor Brittany in different ways is important to me. And the person that I'm with, if I end up serious with somebody, she has to understand and has to honor Brittany as well. And so I think the idea that Starlight is like, I want to honor this woman who's still in your heart, but always will be, because, like, she got fucking vaporized. I think that's really sweet. I think that's actually a very, very sweet and understanding thing. She doesn't feel threatened by the dead girlfriend or anything like that. It's like I think it's very healthy, honestly. So yeah, I don't have the same response that you do.
I understand what you're saying. They didn't even live together. They were dating.
I know, it doesn't make a difference. I think
it does. I think it does.
This whole fucking series, everything Yui does is because she gets vaporized. Like, there's just no version of this where you can, like, downplay the importance of that.
No, obviously it's very important, but I don't know. I think it's a little weird. Honoring, definitely, but being like, also our kid.
The funny thing about you is that you have emotions. Like, you're an emotional person and you have love in your heart, but, like, you have, like, a disconnect sometimes about, like, romance and stuff that
No. I fully get the idea. Yes, the honoring, the remembering. I think saying, okay, you're my new wife. I want to name our children after my previous, in this case, girlfriend. I'd be like, that's kind of strange.
I just don't think it is.
That's more than honoring. That feels more than honoring. That feels going too far.
I think it's beautiful, actually. So actually, I could not disagree more. I think it's very, very beautiful. I mean, I'm never gonna have kids, but like,
I mean, I would feel like there's no way I can even ask that of them. Like, that's too far to go. Because I don't know.
No, I would 100%. I'm never going to have kids, but if I had kids and I had a girl, the idea of naming her Brittany would be very beautiful to me. It would be really a way of keeping that person alive, in a very present way. And I think it would be very, very sweet, and it's that's actually a thing that I liked at the end. But like I said, it's a little personal, so I have a different perspective, I think. Who else do we need to talk about on this finale?
Sister, what's her name?
Sister Sage. She gets a happy ending.
Horrible. She does not deserve a happy ending.
It's really weird.
Yeah. She does not deserve a happy ending. She essentially, they're like, we took away your powers, and then she's like, I'll be extremely annoying for 5 minutes and then I'll leave. And it's like, I did not like any of that.
What's really interesting?
What a pointless character.
Yeah, she really didn't do anything in a very big way. They spent a lot of time about her big plans and stuff, and it doesn't really go anywhere. But the thing is, I really like the actress, so I really enjoyed all her scenes. Like, I really like the actress. I think the actress is really charming. I think the way that she played Sister Sage was really good. I really enjoyed all of that. But like, as a character in the show, in the narrative, I was like, what was the point of any of this? Like, it's literally nothing. Like,
not a clue.
It's like so weird that. Yeah, like so much time is spent on how she's the smartest person in the world. We really don't get to see that at all.
Well, we have the bit in the season when she's talking to Ashley, and she's like, we're moving into the next stage of my plan, wherein he destroys the entire world and I get to live in peace and quiet. And then all of a sudden she's like, I don't want that anymore. I guess I'll switch sides. Like, I don't understand any of her character. Like,
well, that's a very traditional boys thing where characters just turn on a dime from how they felt last episode. Like, it's just, this happens so many of these characters that, like, I mean, Soldier Boy is the ultimate example of this.
Mother's Milk. I mean, Soldier Boy does it literally in the middle of a scene at times. Yeah, he'll switch 2 or 3 times in a scene. Yeah. But like Mother's Milk, I don't understand his switch in this season, and his ending is fucking trash as well.
That's sweet.
No, it's not. You know why it's not? Because they couldn't fucking bother to in any way incorporate his family into the season.
I think that you can't on some level because they can't be around because he's been in prison and then now they're on the run. It's just a challenging way to. Then the Vought knows who his family is. I mean, like, that's like one of those things. I feel like him giving up his family to continue the thing, I thought was a really interesting choice, I thought, for him as a character. And I thought
he also does not get his victory, which is interesting.
He doesn't get Soldier Boy?
He does not get Soldier Boy.
Nobody does.
No, Soldier Boy's just fucking hanging out in Homelander's room.
I did like that he ended up with Ryan. I liked that he's going to raise non-powered Ryan, because in a show that's about fathers again and again and again about fathers, Mother's Milk is kind of the best father on the show, like, in a lot of ways. Like, he did care about his kids, and again, I think that him leaving his family behind was to protect them, and I get it. Like, I think it was a real sacrifice for him because he truly loved his family. So that, I think, is interesting that Ryan ends up with the only character who is even remotely a good father on this show.
It's better. I was terrified it was going to be Huey and Starlight were going to take in Ryan. I was like, this is going to be, that's horrible. So I'm happy they didn't go that way.
I was hoping he was just going to go, all right, I'm out of here.
He just flies off.
No, he has no powers.
Or they're all standing at Butcher's grave. They're like, "Why are you even here?
Why are you even here? We hate you."
No, you didn't like him. You told him to fuck off, which led to all of this at the end. So go to hell.
Yeah. I did
like that. Kimiko's just like, "All right, bye," and then she just fucks off.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I mean, but there's no reason for her to be there anymore, right? That's the thing I think is really interesting. Is like,
yeah,
she doesn't like these people.
No, she only liked Frenchie.
Yeah,
the worst of them all.
Yeah, the worst of them all. They managed to fucking sneak that motherfucker in this episode too.
Yeah,
fuck. Interesting that it opens and closes with funerals. Basically, that is an interesting structural choice, but I don't know that it really says anything about anything, because quite frankly, everybody knew Billy Butcher was going to die. Like there's like certain characters sometimes that just have like "I'm dying" written on their faces, and like Billy Butcher is 100% one of those characters. Like,
yeah,
oh, by the way, I'm dying before this is over. There's no way I'm making it to the end of this shit. It was like Master Okie Dokie on Maul. Like,
yeah, oh
yeah, no, I'm not making it to the end of this story.
Yeah,
my role here is to die, frankly. So. Yeah, I mean, there were parts that I liked. There were moments that I liked. I just felt, just generally speaking, it's because they blew the final season so badly. I mean, that's honestly what fucked this finale up.
I would agree.
They did not build things properly towards this ending. And
I think they chickened out. I really do think they chickened out.
In what
way?
I
really think it should, I think it should have ended with Butcher turning on the whole team, like he does in the comic, where he's like, "Okay, now I'm going to kill all of them because I need this all cleaned out."
I get that, but I think that there's emotionally, it just being Yui and Butcher is, I think, more satisfying, especially in the TV version.
No, but like in the comic, he kills everybody else, and then it comes down to him and Yui. And
but they were never going to kill everybody else. At the end of the day, like, honestly, like,
it should have.
No, they're not. They're just not.
Why not?
Because they just don't do that shit for TV shows. That's just not how it works. They wanted to give this a happier ending. They killed the characters who needed to die. And then
Frenchie, because everybody hated him.
Everybody hated Frenchie. Billy Butcher, because he was going to die always. And Homelander and the Deep, because we needed them to die.
Yeah. Although I still do think that it should have ended with the Deep being in charge of Vought. I think that'd be a much more interesting.
I actually really like the fact that what's his name is back in charge of Vought. That nothing.
Yeah, I do like that, and that's also, I feel like a corporate reality, but also a bit of a jab at Disney, bringing back Eisner.
I mean, yeah, it's also, I mean, I think that I do think that the jab really just is at our corporate reality. Like, these guys, they just continue to fucking run the world no matter what.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that we can do about them. Although I did like that they killed Elon Musk.
Yeah, that was nice.
In this. That was nice. Kripke had said that this is a character they had wanted to use all season, but they could never find a place to use him, and then they just jammed him in here. And I wish they had used him all the whole season. This is another thing. Like, how did you not find a place to use this guy? Because nothing happened this whole season. It was just people going back and forth about V1 the whole fucking season. Like, there's definitely could have been space to have another character show up.
Maybe cut out all the stuff for your next show.
I mean, why do we need to have fucking Bomb Sight show up? I mean, like, that's the thing, is like, I like that bit. I like that he fucking threw Elon Musk into space. I mean, I'm definitely down with that. His hat, by the way, you couldn't read it because it was black on black, like Elon's goth MAGA hat. It said, "Make soups great again." So I like that. I like, on his way out, I was like, I want to talk to you about declining white fertility rates. Like, I mean, it was so on the nose. Like, he looked like Elon Musk. It was just so on the nose. But I wish I had been a character in the season. I think that would have been really, really interesting. And they could have had a lot of fun with it. But
especially like when he's there and Homelander's like, "Who the fuck is that guy?" And Old Father's like, "Oh, that's the richest man in the world. They're the ruling class of America." That should have been a thing throughout the season.
Oh, yeah. That should happen.
Is Homelander dealing with the billionaires who actually run everything? You know, that kind of deal.
Like, well, I think the thing that's one of the things that the show is missing with its Trump messaging is the way that these billionaires have supplicated themselves before Trump.
Yeah.
And the way that they're like, "Yeah, you're doing great, Mr. Trump. Like, we love you. We're going to fly with you to China." Like, that thing that would have been a fun thing to play with for Homelander in this final season. By the way, I do think, though, that Homelander's Christian nationalism story is really good. I think they did a really good job with it. I think they really kind of nailed that. And I absolutely
love in last episode the ad they were making in the last episode where Jesus comes to him.
Well, I like the ad they had this episode, which is that old fucking Apple ad. Rebels, they get things done. So, but I thought that the Christian nationalism of it all, very timely, very, I think, well done, really showed the deep hollowness of these people and their lack of belief. That's why I think Oh Father could have had a more interesting storyline, because I actually like the idea that Oh Father believes in Jesus. Like, that's interesting. That's
I do as
way
well.
More interesting to me.
Yeah, and they touched on that with what's her name? Firecracker? What's that
Firecracker. Yeah, she believes in Jesus. Yeah, she actually has faith, and so it's like really hard
the whole
for
thing with her parish and her priest. Like, I thought that was really good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they felt like they already spent that story beat on her, but I think that having a fucking super priest on the show, like, I think you can do stuff with that. Like, because the thing is that, or make him be clearly full of shit the whole time. And I don't think that, maybe it's just because Daveed Diggs is too likable, but I did not think that he was fully full of shit. Like, I think, by the way, many evangelical TV guys exist in a really interesting middle ground where they do believe, but they're also ripping people off. Like, it's both at the same time, and it's like a cognitive dissonance that they live with.
And I think that that's what he was supposed to be.
But I think there was not enough space for that to be explored.
No, there was not.
You know?
Which, again, considering how little happens throughout the season, there's plenty of space for it to be
explored. That's the thing. Like, in a show that ends up having most of its time people in rooms talking, I think that you could have done more. Really, just, I don't know, man.
Like as much as I like the episode where Soldier Boy and Homelander go to L.A. and hang out and have a quick Supernatural reunion and kill a bunch of celebrities, I enjoyed that episode, but that time could have been spent building up Oh Father. You know, building up the characters and their own actual interactions and character bits instead of wacky fun stuff, which was fun, but didn't really matter to the story. You know, the whole episode was spent there. We did not need all that.
That's the thing, is like, I don't mind that the show does nonsense if the nonsense is fun.
Yeah.
But in a season where they're just spinning the wheels on the main story, there definitely is space to do other story in there. They're just spinning the wheels on the main story the whole season.
Well, I don't mind if they do nonsense if the nonsense connects to like the larger, like I really liked Frenchie's will, where he starts talking about all of their assholes, and then it connects into his like, you guys are my family. Right. I've seen your assholes.
Right.
Like, that's a great bit that takes the two, like, you know, the outlandish, you know, gross out humor of the show and connects it to the heart of the show. And that kind of stuff works well when you do it, and you do it well. But like a lot of time, I felt like at some point they were like, we don't need to connect that stuff. We don't, you know, just do outlandish stuff and wacky stuff. And everyone says, you know, dick all the time. And that's the show. And it just kind of got boring with that. You know, like when you're up to like your fourth character whose power is I have a giant dick, it's like, all right, well.
Well, that the guy had there was a guy with a giant dick and a guy with giant balls.
And a guy with giant balls. Yeah. And it's like, all right, like.
Yeah, we've done this a couple times.
Oh, here's another shrinking guy who goes inside somebody's asshole.
I can't believe they did that bit twice. That's crazy, actually.
3 times. Because they also did it on Gen V.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
Crazy. That's too
insane.
Yeah, you can't keep doing that.
No.
Yeah, that's no good. By the way, the idea of the...
And I guess the Deep got killed by having an octopus go up his ass. Because it comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, but that's fine. I think getting stabbed through your ass is different than a small person exploding your ass. I think that's fundamentally different. Speaking of the idea of evangelicals operating in a weird space where they maybe do believe this stuff, but also are rip-off con artists, very good movie, Eyes of Tammy Faye, I think does a really interesting job with that.
Yes, that's a really good movie.
Andrew Garfield playing Jim Baker. And Jessica Chastain won the Oscar for playing Tammy Faye Baker. I think it's a COVID picture, so I don't know if a lot of people have actually seen it. I
think that one kind of slipped by, and it's really, really good.
It's really good. Really good movie. Your boy Michael Showalter directed it.
Oh, did it? I don't think I realized he directed that.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. It's based on a documentary. Documentary's better.
Sure.
But like whatever. I think that the performances are really good. And again, I think that it really operates in that space where these people believe this stuff.
Yeah.
But they're also total fucking con artists. And that's a really interesting thing to examine. I think that people who are not religious can often have a real binary concept about this stuff, which is like either they believe it or they don't. There is belief while still being a piece of shit, and that's what's interesting about some of these Christian nationalist guys. And that's again why O Father could have been a more interesting character with the Christian nationalist storyline. Is to see more of his struggle. Like when Ashley in this episode is like, is he going to want to flip on Homelander? I feel like he might, but then he doesn't. Like I would like to have actually examined that, like as a story beat. So,
I agree.
Yeah. And anyway, he should have also been like crucified or something, but whatever.
Yeah, none of the deaths in the episode were that good.
The Deep one is okay because the Deep gets penetrated, and Deep's whole problem is penetrating other things.
Yes, but I also feel like he should have been like torn apart.
I mean, yeah, but I do think that him getting ass fucked to death by an octopus is like pretty. He's
great. No, you can definitely do that, but like
ironic stuff,
Like if you have like, let's say 4 sharks come out, each one takes one limb, they pull him out, the octopus goes in, comes out of his mouth, and then they rip his arms off. I wouldn't have complained.
I mean, yeah, obviously that could have been more, but again, this episode was so clearly not the biggest budgeted episode of the season. So, I mean, like so clearly, I don't understand why they didn't save all the money for this. Like that's the part I don't get. Like, anyway, yeah. So I found it a very disappointing finale.
Are we forgetting anybody?
I think we got everybody.
I think so.
Anybody we can't remember is not worth talking about, probably.
Yeah. I did not. I thought this was really flat. I just did not.
I lost faith in this season about halfway through, where I was like, oh shit, we're just going to go back and forth on V1 this whole season, aren't we? We're just going to keep doing this again. They got it, they don't got it, they need it, they don't need it. Like it's going to be that the whole season. And there's like highlights along the way. Like I liked that the Legend came back. I like the Legend. Although he's nothing like Stan Lee, it's so fascinating how that's a character that's like supposed to be Stan Lee in the comics, and then in the show he's nothing. He's just
what's his name that ran Paramount?
He's a Bob Evans type. Yeah. He's a Bob Evans type. But I like that. I thought that was a really great character. I like seeing him again. I'm going to say something controversial.
What's that? When it comes to comic book shows that Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg have produced, I think Preacher was better.
I think Preacher.
I really like. Once I was able to get over the fact that it was definitely not going to be like the comic. It was doing its own thing. I really liked it. I really dug it.
I guess I just don't really understand why you adapt it if you're not going to do anything like the comic. I don't get it.
I mean, they do a lot like the comic. There is all the cloning of Jesus or the bloodline of Jesus being continued and all that kind of stuff. Like that's all in there. The voice of God, that's all in there. That's like the
surface stuff. I don't know. Like the vibe was just not the same vibe as the comic.
No, the vibe was very different.
The difference between that and this, I think the vibe of Preacher in the comics was not hateful. Preacher actually does have, it's set in a world where God exists. So it has questions of faith that are much more interesting than just like, do you believe or not? The Boys comic, it's a hateful comic and it's awful.
Yeah.
And so to lose some of it maintains elements of the vibe of the comic, the show, but to lose a lot of those elements, I think makes a lot of sense. But the Preacher, I thought that Preacher was like a really deep comic and it was really puerile and juvenile a lot. It was also quite deep often. And
I think the show as it goes on, and never gets as deep as the comic, don't get me wrong. But the show as it goes on digs more into what is faith and like what does it mean to believe and to want to be a good person and things like that. Like it goes more into that stuff. Not again, nowhere near as deep as the comic does.
Is John Wayne in the show?
I don't remember John Wayne showing up. No.
See, you gotta have that.
I don't disagree.
That's like such a.
I'm not saying Preacher is a great show. I'm saying I like it better than the Boys. I think as a full story, as a complete story, it works better than this show did.
I suspect the Boys had higher.
For one thing, it was only 3 seasons, so it doesn't have time to.
I suspect that the Boys had higher high points, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because the good stuff in the Boys is real good. Like it's real fucking good.
Yeah. I mean, the first 3 seasons of the Boys is great.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last two.
I think you're right. I think Herogasm is where it starts to go down.
They peaked. Yeah. They just couldn't follow it up. All right. I think that's enough 2-hour episode. That'll do us.
I got so many messages from Todd telling me why I'm wrong about the Boys.
It's terrible. Terrible comic. We'll be back again next week.
About the show, not the comic. I don't think he's ever read the comic.
What are we doing next week? Do we know yet?
I imagine Spider Noir, since that airs on the 27th.
We're not going to have time to watch it and then do a show.
That's true.
We'll figure something out. We'll let you guys know. We got nothing.
There's no Masters of the Universe comics on any of the apps, right? So
I don't know.
So that could be fun if we did like the first He-Man comic.
We'll figure something out between now and then. We'll let you guys at home know, or you'll just like this week be surprised by finding out what the story is, what we're going to talk about. Maybe we'll do another episode that's about a different show. We'll just talk about, when does For All Mankind end?
I don't know. I'm behind on that. I'm 2 episodes behind.
I'm looking this up. This is a real good looking shit up thing. It's going to go to episode. Okay, no, it's going to keep going. It's going to end 10 episodes. I have.
Isn't that this Friday? Isn't that 10?
No. Number 9 is this Friday.
Okay.
And then 10 is next week. That's been a really interesting season of that program, by the way. I've really disliked a lot of it.
I'm too behind, so please.
I think that where you are going to watch is kind of where they begin to sort of like...
I've been liking the season.
I have not been psyched about it. But then I think, again, where you are, I think is where they sort of go, okay, what if we made a season of For All Mankind? Because they just weren't doing a season of For All Mankind previously.
No, they were doing something different, but I liked what they were doing. My biggest problem, I think we discussed it before, is that they definitely have an issue where none of the original cast is around anymore. And so a lot of these new cast members, it's like, where's the people I loved?
Yeah.
Oh, they're all dead because it's been 60 years. Yeah. But
so, well, anyway, we'll figure out what we're doing next week. We'll talk to you guys then. Until next time, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you be well, and don't, Jesus Christ, we're doing this like 7 years now.
To be fair, we have only been doing this version of it for like a year.
It's less than a year, but may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you be well, and we will see you somewhere across the Omniverse.